What's going on, guys? It's your boy Marcello Nally from Legendary Legacy Builds. Today we are sponsored by the Detail Garage Mississauga. Thank you very much for your chemicals and your merch. We have the one and the only Spoke Photos here, live. The legend, the myth, the man himself. We wanted to catch some wisdom, words of wisdom before he sets off on his life journeys. So how about you just introduce yourself, give us a little about yourself, you know, right. Name, age, job.
I'm not out of myself right now. No, actually my real name is Micah. The Spoke name kind of just took off by itself, oddly.
Is it a name you chose?
Yeah, it's a backstory to it, but pretty much it was a ghost, and then I had a Swedish car, and like I put it in Swedish, and kind of went to Spoke, and then kind of.
So Spoke's the translation of ghost in Swedish.
Yeah, but it said differently. I can't pronounce it correctly.
And that's when you had your Volvo.
I've had a Volvo, yeah.
Okay.
And the name's kind of just, everyone called me that. I was like, I'll go with it. I'm not going to question.
How many people think Spoke just means like spoke of a wheel?
That's what I started off with.
That's what it was.
Yeah, I put in the bio to explain, like, hey, it's a bit weird if I did that.
Yeah.
People started understanding. I'm like, okay. We can do
little backstory.
Yeah, well, the name wasn't really a big deal. It was more like, the name's there.
Yeah.
I want to focus on
the
content. So the original people from back in the day know my real name. They call me that in public, but most of us go by Spoke. A lot easier.
Nice. So how long have you been in the car scene, doing what you're doing?
Well, I started when I was obviously licensed, so like 18, 19.
Okay.
Doing like building cars for fun, like not for shows or anything. I just built for personal preference.
So when you say license, you went to school to become a mechanic or?
Yeah.
Okay.
When 18, 19, I was a driver's license again.
Okay, I was like, put license in my head because you're like working on cars.
No, yes, working on cars from then, and then
okay.
it kind of just.
Yeah, you don't need to go to school for that. That's just
but I didn't go to school anyways because I went to an advanced program for my license, and then I started going to shows a little bit, like meets, nothing big yet. Right?
Every like weekday meets.
Yeah, Candy Comics back in the day.
Yeah.
Used to do that a lot. You build the cars for yourselves, not caring about
whatever you want to bring, right?
Then from there on, I got my 20s, came out for a little bit, and then I went back. I came back from photography.
You came back for the photography part?
Yeah, so I built my Volvo. I built it for myself regardless.
Yeah.
And then I started, I had a camera already from all the stuff I did. I was like, you know what? Let me go to Krispy Kreme, see what's going on there.
Yeah.
I started taking pictures, and over the years, it's kind of ramped up and slowly taking it on by itself.
When did you realize you wanted to go just back for the photography? Like, did you do something? Like, you took pictures and you're like, oh wow, these are actually cool, or did you just?
We had a small little crew, like 3 or 4 of us.
Yeah.
We're like our dad's old cars, but we kind of, our dads give us some, crappy, old 80s, 90s cars, and we just built them.
Do a little something.
Yeah, I did an engine swap on the Mark II.
Alright.
Other buddies, slammed the cars, crazy engine work. It was more of like sleepers. We made sedan cars.
Oh yeah.
And then from there on, I was like, I'll go to a show, see what's going on. I had a camera with me. I took pictures for fun. I had no goal. There's nothing planned. It was just to show up and take pictures of cars, and then I have my Instagram account. We make a new one, and then kind of just slowly ramped up. And I'll take more pictures, more shows. Like, see how it goes. And we're here.
The key is do things for fun, and you might end up as a very popular person one day.
Just keep it fun.
One of the best.
No, not there yet. I seen other people above me. I was like, I have a lot of work to go.
Well, I guess to give a little bit more backstory, if you don't know who Spoke is or his true identity, right? Personally, I've been in the car scene for about, say, 5.5 years since I got my G license for my G2 and been able to drive around to like weekly meets or whatever that stuff would be. But even I think at that time, I think you were still booming.
5 years ago?
5 years ago, I think you were booming on Instagram, and people knew you as a photographer in the GTA, like a good photographer in the GTA. Not even like, I don't want to say mediocre because I don't want to disrespect anyone else trying to do it right now, but I mean, I think especially, I think you can agree to this, within the last 2 years, there's a lot of people that just grab a camera and decide, you know what, I want to be a photographer of either automotive or something else, and they start doing it, and it's great. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think definitely like it's an amazing, skill and technique to have, right? But there's a lot of people doing it thinking that they're as good as others that have been doing it for a long time, and then they'll start, asking, like, yo, yeah, like, they'll go to shows on their own accord, take pics of cars, find the owner's Instagram or whatever, his phone number, and then message him and say, hey, I took pictures of your car. I have like 7 or 8 pictures. I'm wondering if you're willing to pay me like $35 to $50 for them, right?
There are stores like that.
And then like, well, it happened. I'm not even gonna lie. It happened recently, like to one of the members on the KU team.
Oh, damn. Wow.
And like 2 shows ago. And it happened to myself this year as well. At the beginning, like roughly middle of the season.
Yeah.
So I don't have anything wrong with that, especially with aspiring photographers coming up. But like, it's funny how like they try to hold the pictures ransom, and then it's just like, yeah, you're not gonna be able to see your pictures unless you pay me. But it's like, well, I mean, like, I'm not gonna pay for something I don't know what I'm getting into, like the quality.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna lie, there could be like some God-gifted child on this earth that like that picks up a camera and just like, wow, I say. I'll mention them now. We've got to be careful of mentioning real people, and unless we're talking good about them. But you know him, Arda Visuals.
I spoke to him the other day. Yeah,
Arda,
naturally gifted.
Arda, if you're watching this, this bit's for you. I met Arda, I want to say 2 years ago. I just started Legendary Legacy Builds.
Yeah.
And I was looking for photographers for merch or for cars or for just me, my personal photo shoots, right? And I came across a couple people, tried them all out. Some are very talented, some were like mediocre. And I came across Arda, and I saw his profile and like pictures he's taken. And I didn't know him at all. I first saw his profile for the first time, and I'm like, wow, these look really good. Like, like it's a lot of, like, it seems like a lot of these pictures are edited a lot or whatever, but then I just realized it slowly, and I'm like, actually they're not. They're very well taken, very simplistic, but they just look amazing, right? So I said, okay, I'm gonna call this. I want to do a shoot with this guy. So I called him up, did a shoot with him. Pictures turn out exactly how I thought they would, like perfect, the way they would be on his profile. I was happy with the quality and everything. But then when I initially met him, like he was a kid at the time. Like he was in 14, 15, like 2 years ago, you know what I mean? Like, and I was like, bro, like you're in grade 9. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, I don't think I've met someone that young that can do quality of work that good.
At that age.
It was crazy. And I was just so mind blown. And cause prior to shooting with Arda, I shot with a few other young guys, but they were like 18, 17, 19. They were doing out some of the similar quality work, but I think what made Arda better was the fact that he was not only doing the same quality, but sometimes if better, but he was just like, he had 4.5 years on them. He theoretically saying you have 4.5 years on someone means that you have 4.5 more years experience, but thinking about it in my head is you're already at their level, but you're 4 years behind. So in 4 years, when you're at their age, where are you going to be? You're going to be like blowing it through the water. You know what I mean?
I see his recent stuff too. He showed me. I was like, on the Porsche. I was like,
he does a lot of the dealership stuff, like the exotic, which I like it a lot.
Very crisp, no drama. It's just clean. It's like what you need to see.
And you know what the best thing I love about this kid is that he comes in, he does his stuff, and then he leaves. He posts it like very once in a while on Instagram. He's not like a lot of these other photographers who are just like I don't even know how to explain it. You know what I mean? Like they're making some, not drama, but they're making some scenes, trying to make themselves look big, or trying to follow the bandwagon or clout or something like that. But he comes in. He's such a humble kid. He does his thing. He edits his thing. He posts it. And he leaves. He moves on to the next thing. There's no extra this, extra that. He stays very quiet. And, like, I'm sure, he sacrifices, I guess, a lot of exposure because of it.
Yeah.
But I think at the end of the day, the true people that you know, can appreciate good quality of work
Oh, yeah.
and the bigger names. You know what I mean? When we come down to talk to it, because you know, obviously I'm sitting with a big name here, and I'm trying to aspire to be a big name in the GTA, but they realize they see that, right? So sometimes I think it's better for him because he's going for the quality over the quantity, right?
What's more important?
But
People are watching, and they see that you've been there for like 5-6 years, and your quality is consistent.
yeah,
They're like, okay, this guy's around. Some people, you know, do flashy stuff and get excited. It's like, how long can you keep that up for at that level
yeah.
of excitement? Well, if you keep it like at 5 and be consistent, people respect that.
Yeah, so going back to originally what we were talking about how some of these photographers are trying to like I'm happy that people are wanting to get into it, but they have to understand that there's a very tall and long ladder to climb to get to a certain point.
Never ending.
It's never ending. It's never ending in any field of art form. You know what I mean? Like even what I do, you know, now I'm building show cars for people. The skills and the tips and the tricks of the trade, you can keep on learning every day something new, right? It's never ending. You know, you could do something for 10 years and be really fucking good at it, but then some new kid could come in and do the same thing but in a different way, maybe faster, better, cheaper, and you know what I mean? You never knew until you learn it, right? So, but yeah, it's interesting because there's a lot of people that they feel like right off the get-go, they spend maybe like 2-3 months building somewhat of a portfolio, and they buy like a really expensive Sony camera. They spend close to $1,000 on the Sony Camera Plus.
If you have the budget for it, right?
You know, even I know a lot of photographers that are trying to sell some gear, right? They'll sell like some decent sized cameras for like $850, $900, which is like, you know, that's definitely a good starter up camera.
More than a starter.
Oh, more, right? Yeah. So then I see those people and they think they build 2-3 months of portfolio, and then they're just like, yeah, I'm ready to launch myself off and start like going to do like big shoots and promoting myself and start like charging. And it's like, I have no problem with people charging, but you have to know what you're getting into, right? Like, so for the example that happened to me was I went to a show and a photographer approached me. Actually, I think because the lovely man holding the camera right now, Nigel from North Media, who is my licensed videographer and sometimes photographer.
Plug him right there.
He was with me that day, doing his thing, following me around with the camera, you know, and people like to see that. People are like, oh, look at this guy. Look, he's getting followed by a camera. He must be someone, right? So I had a photographer come up to me and say, hey, like I do shoots, and I was wondering if you wanted me to do some shoots for you, and that was it. And I was like, sure, like I don't mind, like, you know. And I do deal with another photographer. His name's Charles from 4K Angles. He's an amazing photographer. I like to call my personal portrait photographer because he does really good portraits. He gets those Instagram captions going, you know. So I said, if your quality is as good as I showed the person one of his pictures that he did of me. I said, if your quality matches this, I don't mind paying you if you do like a bunch of pictures. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't mind doing it because, you know, you have the skill to work, and then nowadays it's you took time to learn that, right? And it costs. So so they come back, they do their day, and then they message me over Instagram after the event, a day or two after, and be like, hey, I have like 7 or 8 pictures. I was wondering if you wanted to pay me like $50 for them. I was like, sure, do you mind if like I see one of them just to see like quality? Like $50 isn't a lot, but it's still like still money, right? Like, and especially like that was before I'm doing what I'm doing now with working at the front with Quan from Rap 88. That's before what I'm doing now, right? That was before, when I had a good financial job, and I was a little bit better on my feet. And I was still thinking in my head, you know, $50 is still $50. God forbid if it was now, when I'm in the situation I'm in now, where like I'm working for myself, I'm self-employed, and like I don't have a steady paycheck. You know what I mean? Like that $50 means like that could be like life or death. That could be my last dinner of the month. You know what I mean? Like it could mean a lot. It's a big difference. So so I said, yeah, just send me a pic. Let me see. So she felt, they felt nervous because they didn't want to send me a pic because I thought I was gonna take it without like.
It's very common. That happens a lot.
It's common, and I understand that. I'm not gonna say anything against that because they can be like, oh yeah, here's your pictures, sends them, and then can I have $50? I'd be like, no, but thanks for the pictures. So now I've taken your picture.
Yeah.
I understand. So I understand that. So she's like, how about I send you a picture that I took at the same show that I did for another person that's edited? I'm like, yeah, for sure, that's fine. Look at your quality for sure. Sends me the picture, and I was like, immediately in my head, I was like, it's not on the same quality level. It's not even close. But at the same time, I'm not disrespectful, and I don't want to disrespect that person. So what I did was I said, you know, I appreciate the time and effort you put into it, but if you ever want to come out with me and my media team, and you can watch them and ask them questions and learn from them to better yourself, so that you can have you can grow yourself in your skill or trade or whatever it is. By all means, you are more than welcome to come at any time, any given day. You know what I mean? And work on your portfolio and do your thing, right? But I said it's just I don't want to be paying for something that's not at the quality that I'm paying. I'm paying my media team quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
It's expensive.
It's expensive.
It's expensive. No. When someone comes to you and be like, yo, I want to shoot, I want 2 locations, 20 edited photos, some crazy shit. You do your good stuff, and then you give them a price. And people a lot of these days, it's very well over $50. Extremely.
It's just the gas to get.
It's just the gas to get there.
That's the location.
Pay me $50 to get to where you are, and then pay me for my price for the shoot. Yeah. So that's what I mean. So, I'm always encouraging people, if they want to do it, don't give up on it. Just keep on learning and learning until people start coming up to you and being like, hey, do you mind doing a shoot for me? I would love to do your shoot. Until people start DMing you, messaging you. Or an event says, we're looking for a photographer or a car event. Do you mind doing some work for us? Yeah. Maybe you can work out a deal with them where it's like, that gives you a lot of exposure because then they start posting you on their page like, hey, we have a show photographer that we're using. This is this is them. So then it gets that exposure, right? Sure. So, but I feel like just nowadays a lot of people, and this is not even just in the photography industry. This is just in a lot of other things too in the car industry. A lot of people are just jumping into things, which is fine, but then again, they spend maybe 2 months to build a portfolio, and then they're like, I'm on.
That's true.
I'm on spokes levels.
I didn't charge. I declined shoots for about a year and a half when I first started.
When people wanted to shoot, you to shoot for them.
Yeah, so I went to like the old meets where like. Phantom meets back in the day out in Mississauga.
Yo, those meets
are nuts.
Those are gone now.
But I used to go to like 4 meets a weekend just to get out there and find whole list of them, plan them out, logistically figure out where to go. Like, all right, well, this one I can drive from Mississauga to Scarborough and then end the day there. So I would usually go to the shows for a year and a half. People were like, oh, can you shoot my car? What's your rates? I'm like, sorry, I don't feel good enough, or I don't feel like you can take me your money for the work I'm giving you. Not yet.
Did you feel like you didn't want to disappoint them? Like,
that too.
Because then you would, so basically it's like, you're going to take this role of like, okay, now I'm officially going to be doing shoots for people, and it's like I didn't want to disappoint them and I didn't want to ruin my name because of that.
Yeah, that bit too. In the beginning I was doing all kinds of wild angles.
Yeah.
People knew I was doing all kind of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
I was pushing and seeing what I like to do. And now I look back, I was like, I was being an idiot, but
you gotta try it though.
I tried it, so I'm still till now. I'll go out and I'll say, can I borrow? I'll DM someone and say, hey, I have an idea, I want to try. Can I borrow your car?
Yeah. And
then the photos are completely free. I just need your time.
Yeah.
And I give them 20, 30 photos, where they're not crazy quality. I make some wacky angles, but I'm trying it. Otherwise, I won't know if it works. I want to try the angle, edit it, put it up, and see how it goes. It may not work so well, but now I know. Okay, don't do that again. Try this.
Yeah.
So the first while, I was like, I don't feel like. I don't say good enough, but I don't feel like I can sell you or give you a good product at my current stage in photography. I wanted to wait till I was much better.
I think
I could charge, and I feel okay with charging.
I think that has a very mature mindset to it as well.
Yeah, but I started a bit later than everyone else. That's the thing.
Well,
so I kind of already had I was watching, observing, and I did a lot of observing and watching. Okay.
Okay, what was the age? What was the age that you started?
The spoke thing started about 27, 28 years old.
27, 28 years old.
Yeah, maybe 26, maybe.
So theoretically you were a newbie in a seasoned vet
Kind of.
body.
Because I did filming like shows and events, live streaming stuff.
Yeah.
Since I was probably like 16.
Okay, so you weren't fresh behind it.
No, but like actual like photography wise, I was still fresh.
Okay.
But like filming like shows and events, like live streaming, like, I make putting on the big billboard.
Yeah.
I had some experience with that over the years, so that was already set. But it's going to the actual photography stuff. I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. Let me get some actual experience here and learn. I spent about 3-4 years or so figuring it out till now. I'm now kind of get more confident in what I'm doing. Like I can probably push the limit a little bit further of the ideas I have, or like the angles I want to try. People now are more trusting. Before you start off and you're like, what the hell is this guy doing?
Yeah, he's like.
Now I was like, trust me, just let me allow this for a minute. Just here's a photo, just allow it.
Let it happen.
Let it happen. But yeah, I'll say for shows, I see what you're talking about. I see people come to me and say, hey, somebody's charging so and so this much. Like here's their page. I was like, it's their business if they want to charge. If they want to do that.
Yeah.
$50 for some photos I did. That's their business. If they want to do it that way, they cold calling, showing up to a show and say, hey, I'll take 10 photos of your car, $30. Or they do, they do the like before a show, they'll say like, hey, book a shoot with me at the show. I'll take 5 guaranteed photos of your car.
Yeah.
I'm like, that idea works. Some
Yeah.
some guys don't want it.
Yeah.
If you put the request out there, people will answer it and they're willing to give you the money because they know your work already.
No, of course.
There's no confusion, but it's like holding the photos kind of hostage, but not. It's kind of a weird thing.
It's a weird vibe, and that's why a lot of people have that mentality towards people like that. Because it's like, well, you're holding it against me. I don't have anything. I don't need to pay you at all. If I don't pay you, you just don't use the photos.
You're eventually gonna
you've already wasted your time editing them. You know what I mean? Like so. Like I feel like it's not really a point, but I see what you're saying. Like if you have a portfolio built up already on your profile that people can go and see publicly, and then you put a story out or you DM a bunch of people before a show that going to that show saying like, hey guys, I'm doing a special promotion. I do 5 photos of your car edited for a flat rate fee for this price, and then that's it. You're right. People can respond to that, and again, people can go to your profile, see your portfolio, be like, oh yeah, look, these pictures are actually really fucking nice. You know what I mean? Like they're really good quality. I like what he's doing. Yada yada yada. Oh, he's taking pictures of so and so's car. I know him. He's a big figure. He's a big figure. Oh, he did that. He's worked with him. He's worked with them. This team. He's gone to this show. He shot for this. Like if you have a portfolio like that at the end of the day, then people are gonna trust you. You know what I mean? And then theoretically, if you're like that, like if Spoke messaged me, and let's say I know him the same way I know him to this minute now, and he was like, yo, remember that import culture show we went to? He was like, I took like 10, 15 pictures of your car. He's like fully edited, whatever. He's like, do you want me to frame them for you? If I frame them for you, just send me like $100-something, and you could have them. And I'll be like, fuck, you know what? Yeah, if you're gonna send me a couple framed pictures and some edited ones on like the download, oh yeah, here's $100. But that's because I know Spoke. I know his quality of work. He has an insane portfolio. You know what I mean? He's been in the game for a hell of a long time, right? He's worked with huge names, huge shows. So like that's more. He's not theoretically holding them ransom.
He's giving me the option.
He's giving me the option. That's the point. You know what I mean? So. I think that's a big difference when it comes to selling point is how you word yourself and how you present yourself, especially to people that don't know who you are.
The names get around quickly.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
People
but
find out quickly.
Exactly, right? But if you've been in, let's say you've been showing your face for like 2, 3, 4 years, and like you said, like you're not low key, but you're not really accepting jobs because you want to build up your portfolio. You want people to see your face, know who you are, know what you do.
Exactly. And
then it gets to a point where it's like you start accepting jobs, everyone already knows what you do, everyone knows who you are, everyone knows your portfolio, your quality. There's no questions, there's no like if, ands, or buts. It's just like, yeah, he's good, he knows what he's doing, he's been doing it for a long time, let's go do a shoot. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's very simple, right?
And I've been invited to like meets, private meets, for that exact purpose. Just like shooting stuff for fun. Like, yeah, I'll show up. Like some of them I can't show up, obviously. Like, oh, we're having this meet.
Yeah,
you know, next week Thursday, can you come by? I'm like, sorry, I can't make it. I got work. But sometimes I'll just see a meet online. I'll just pop in. I won't tell nobody. I just like tell anybody. People like they want photos.
Yeah.
I'll just show up and then shoot for fun. I'm not saying anything to nobody. Like artist style, show up quietly.
But you know what? That's the difference that I find in you and Arda and some other photographers. You'll do that. You'll come up randomly. You'll come up to the meet randomly. Not like post about it. Not like you come in, do your thing. You shoot for fun.
Yeah.
And then you have a good time with your buddies that you know, and then you leave at the end of the night. But there's a lot of photographers that are taking the opposite approach to that. There's a lot of that see the meet, promote the meet on Instagram, say I'm going to be there, say I'm going to be doing photos, gets there, starts asking everyone if they need photos. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's crazy different.
Yeah.
You get a different atmosphere off the person, 100%.
Like, their time is not worth like personal.
It's like they're not there. They're not there to enjoy the simplicity of what the meet is supposed to be.
Yeah.
You go there. You get to sit around like-minded people. Hopefully like-minded people. That's the ghost himself, by the way.
So that's what came back.
You get to sit around like-minded people and enjoy food, drinks, whatever. And by drinks I mean bubble tea, because we don't drink and drive here. Gotta put that out there. You got to be, people are gonna be taking this out of context. You know how social media is.
Like,
Someone's gonna be editing this later.
Are you right?
Yeah. He's gonna be editing it later, making a meme video instead of like
exactly.
actual. Yeah. So, yeah, you go there to enjoy yourself and the purity of the meet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then a lot of people don't really see it as that. They see it as a business opportunity, which is fine.
It kind of is. Like,
it's a business opportunity, but then they forget about what the original purpose of the meet. Instead of having a good time, they're too worried about doing their thing.
Business,
right? And I could understand maybe if like you're against the gun and like you don't have a full-time job and this is your full-time job. That's a whole different ballgame. But I mean, like, realistically, me being in the car scene for about 5 years now, and me knowing quite a few photographers and people in the skills of the trades in the automotive scene, I know a lot of these guys that come to these shows, they do have full-time jobs, right? And then they do this for fun, because how hard is it to do what you do full-time?
I haven't done it. That's why I still have a full-time job, so I'll be doing balancing them both.
That's well, okay. So from your experience of doing what you do, what would be the necessities to make it full-time and fully like supporting you full-time?
I would say the amount of hustle will have to go up like 1,000%. You can't let no opportunity slide.
No opportunities.
Like, you gotta like be on top of it. You can't, like, for me, I like to shoot not specific cars, but I like to shoot what I kind of like.
Yeah.
At the time, whatever, like right now the stance scene is hot. I like the stance scene because I grew up in the stance scene. Mm-hmm. So I know, okay, this is what I like to shoot. So I go along with it because it's what I like to do.
You enjoy it.
Yeah, I enjoy it. Like, even the crazy builds, I grew up with that too. I'll go to a certain show and shoot those because I like some crazy builds. Like, you don't see my stuff. Like, some ungodly stuff. Some things are built at, you're like, I want to shoot this because you'll never see certain
You'll never see it again. It's like a one-of-a-one kind of thing.
But at the same time, you got to now realize, if I were to go to meets on the weekend and it shows, you're not getting any money from that. No. You're not making money. So you're losing time. That you could be doing other content. Like, how you have people that work for you that do your photography. Like, that kind of stuff, you need to have like a good, strong client list of people that will always come through. Or, it's a shop that has, the wrap cars. So every 2 weeks or every week they have a coffee to shoot. Yeah. That's where you kind of need to have that base client, base clients, or a couple of jobs, a couple of shops you go to, do their reels, do their, photos, whatever they need.
Does that change your mentality when you go to those weekly meets? Or not the weekly meets, but just like the meets in general? Like when how we were just talking about how, you go, there's other photographers that go, they come in, they do their thing, they have a good time with the people they know.
Yeah.
They shoot for free, they leave. You know what I mean? So does that change your mentality if you were to show up to one of those meets and now you're more onto the fence of promoting it on your social media, saying you're going to be there and doing shoots for people, or would you? I guess it's a tough.
It's a fine line.
It's a fine line.
Like, if I went to one, was it on Saturday or Sunday night?
Okay.
I went to a private one, and I talked to the guy. I'm like, hey, I want to do after shoot style. Can I have the cars scattered? It's a truck lot. Can I have the cars scattered around, and the sun's coming down? Can I shoot it this way? Because like, there's no pressure, and I've been known for years. So it's like more of a fun.
Yeah, it's easy.
I know what to get. By the time I already know what shots I'm getting by the time I look at the venue.
Yeah.
So when it's a small meet, I texted before. I'm like, hey, do you mind if I do this? It was like 10 cars, 15 cars, something crazy.
Yeah.
I asked, hey, can we set up? Like, yeah, no problem. I go there, we have a good time, we eat, hang out. I had the photos. I loaded the photos on my iPad. We sat around in a circle. I did a few edits for them, sent to their phones, just for fun, so they can see what I'm doing, see the process. So that's more of like a fun thing. If I want to do like the same idea, but then make money off of it, that gets really tricky now.
You have to come in a different attitude. You have to approach it a little differently.
It's a whole different. Like I can't go in there, hang out, sitting there.
Yeah.
It's not. I gotta come in on time. I'm shooting this much. To see like, oh, you're in charge? Yeah, it's charged. Everyone throws in $50, and everyone gets photos. That kind of idea.
Yeah. Then
I have to actually do work.
Yeah, it's smart though with the group thing. If everyone puts in $50,
that can backfire as well at the same time.
You can.
Yeah.
Oh.
Before I got invited to a few, like some guys want to do a meet. Let's say it's you and 3 of your guys in the crew want to do a shoot.
Yeah.
So say, hey, can I have like 2 of my buddies come? That way you get it cheaper. So you're looking at as a customer to get the shoot cheaper for you.
Okay.
But then I'll pay more money because now you have you and 2 other guys paying more money.
Yeah.
So it looks great, yeah. But now I have 2 more cars to edit, and go the color grading in the sense of if the cars are together, I got to worry about a red car, a yellow car, and a blue car.
Yeah.
I can't just if it's your car yellow, I can set it up
differently,
do it one way I want it, and apply it to all the other photos within reason.
Yeah. But
now there's different cars in the shop, which I've done before. I did I think a couple Civics. I did a Type R, a red one, a yellow car, and a blue car, and that was tricky enough to like get the colors right. It was a lot of fun editing because of the sunset location. That was on purpose kind of setup. Like, hey, just bring your friends.
So you can figure it out yourself.
Yeah,
right.
But in the sense of like, I'll bring more buddies, and what happened was, I give them the price because now you think, hey, it should be cheaper price that there's more people. I'm like, no, you give me more work because I got to do more editing rather than just a simple editing. So a couple guys said, okay, can you come to our meet? I was like, hold on a second, what are we doing here? Because the meet now, actually the meet is free, and they still get photos for the car. There's no way to charge because it's a meet, not a photo shoot.
But even if you let them know if I do photos for you, it's a charge.
Yes, that's how it starts usually. It's like 1, 2, 3 cars start up, and the price gets so high, they're like, oh, we can't afford this. Let's have a meet and have them show up. Now the meet, cars are scattered in the parking lot. You're shooting for fun. There's no money involved now. So you got to now find the fine line of, are we doing this for meet, are we doing it for fun, or are we doing exactly?
So if you've had the experience in the past, or you have something booked for a shoot,
get 2 or 3 cars,
and then
you give them the price.
You give them the price, they don't like it, and then they're like, they have a meet instead, and they invite you out to the meet, being like, yo, just come have fun, whatever.
Yeah, but I'm like, I know I know how this plays out.
I don't know. That's a lot of work.
But it's not like it happens overnight. It's like you plan it like a month ahead because something with 3 cars, more than 1 car. I like to plan way ahead. That way, like I scout the location. Make sure the location is clear for the day I'm going to shoot. So sometimes I'll go. Let's say I go to Scarborough Town Center. I'll go there on a Sunday before, to see the traffic, see what's happening, see if there's a event happening. Even though the next week something may happen, I don't know.
Yeah.
But at least I know the venue space. I know what to look out for. If security's there, I ask them a question. Hey, if I wanted to do something, give me a head. Should I? No, I can't.
Yeah.
That way, so there's a lot of prep work still going into it. So when the time starts getting closer, and the price is this much, they're like, hey, we're gonna have a meet instead. Can you come through? It's like,
I put all this time and effort into scouting.
Yeah, I'm like, hold on a second.
Figuring it out.
So I'm like, let me not get involved with me. Step out. I'm sorry, I can't make it to the meet. Because the meet's at different time than the shoot. But I put the shoot and the meet at the same time. I'm like, but we already booked the shoot. You can't add 10 more cars.
Is that where you have to ask for a deposit, like in advance, or not?
I used to do deposit. I did when I did more shoots, but since I raised my price now, people are more like the clientele changes.
Yeah.
So you know they're gonna pay. Like, I know these guys for years. I know that they're gonna pay. There's no, oh, I'm gonna flake. But at a certain time, you gotta find a nice. I would say advice-wise, find a nice window of price where you know they're gonna pay you, but you know they're not gonna flake. Because when it's so cheap, they go, I'm sorry, I got plans, I gotta do this, I gotta do that.
Yeah.
Now I have an open slot, which you nobody knows. You have an open slot with the day, now you're losing a couple $100 or $100 bucks that you can actually sing at home. Like, I have nothing, I have no content, I got nothing to produce.
To do. You're sitting at home twiddling your thumbs.
or do
Mostly
other
money.
content. Yeah. But
trying to do other content to build your
Yeah.
portfolio, I guess, but that's not making you money, right?
Exactly. So like, for now, like whenever I know winter's coming, I work hard the last 2 months. The winter you need content for, just where you can.
Well, now everyone's hibernated, but I mean, I think especially now that you say that, there's a lot of people coming out in the winter and doing winter shoots just for the aesthetic. I think.
I did a couple of those for fun, yeah.
I think it's just because winter comes, everyone's inside, right? You don't get to see what you get to see in the summer. You don't get to do what you get to do in the summer. So that's why it's like for 4 or 5 solid months you're inside and you're twiddling away and editing and then trying to do something, right? So I think
what guys do is edit old content. So you go back and edit your stuff from January, re-edit it, look at your old style, because your style always evolves.
Yeah.
It's always evolving. For me, it keeps changing.
That's interesting.
So I go back sometimes and grab a set from January, or if I went to an event somewhere in February, grab that, a couple of photos, and re-edit it without looking at the old style of it, and saying, okay, I can probably still do this style, maybe not do this style, I want to get rid of that style, like whatever, not filtered, but whatever you used to do.
That's interesting how you say that, because now I'm putting that into perspective of how you said, you'll edit something in January, go throughout the year, winter hits, you're at home, you're like, okay, let me go through my old content, go see some of the stuff that you took in January, edit photos that you've either already edited or not edited, and then see the difference from the original edit. It's actually interesting, because I didn't think about that, because we all evolve, right?
Yeah.
And we all evolve throughout the years in our skill and our trade, and it's just like, I didn't think that, I guess looking back, you could see that on anything, you know what I mean? I guess doing a job now, and then me doing the job next year at the same time.
You learn so much
on how different I could do it, how faster, or how much more productive I can do it, right?
Yeah, exactly. So going back is always, for me, I always do that. Even like now I'm getting a lot of content going forward, just like I'm cataloging a lot from now. Yeah. So everyone knows, like, hey, you won't see this content for a while, just so you understand this. And they're like, nowadays people understand. When I first started, I was putting out shows the next morning. Like you go, like, let's say it was fitted. The next day, all the content was up.
Yeah.
Because I had a template of how I did things. So, all right, here's all the content. I edit it quickly because it's a show for me. I don't do such crazy edits for shows because there's so much going on in the background. Like, what am I really doing here? Yeah. It's not, it's not that serious in the sense of like production wise.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, in that sense, I would show up, shoot it quick, edit photos. I hope the next day everyone's excited to get photos quick. But now that I rein it in, because quality now matters.
Yeah.
So I need to, like, even if it's a show, because right now I'm working on the Berlin Classic stuff.
Yeah.
And that was weeks ago.
Yeah.
But I shot so much. I slept over twice.
Well, Berlin Classic is a very big event.
It's a big event.
It's not like you go for a one day.
You can go to one day, shoot a couple shots. But I went cause I missed last year. Not missed it. I got married last year the same day where the Classic was. So I was like, all right, this year I'm going in, and I plan to go sleep over because I want to get sunset, sunrise. That's the main
attraction
for me.
Yeah.
Because those are photos that are like
nice.
You get the sunlight photos and say, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But it's that other stuff that not everyone else can get. Like, I would get up at 5:30.
It's a very specific time frame. You don't get that time frame all day.
No, so I think I got up, another guy, Chris Captures, got up at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I started, it was still dusk. The sun wasn't even up yet.
Yeah.
We're shooting dusk and then sunrise.
Yeah.
And then a little bit of whatever is left, and then I go back to sleep.
Yeah.
So by like 8, 9 o'clock, I'm back in my car at the trailer sleeping. Because I already got what I needed, so I actually wanted to get. Rather than just, get up in the morning like everybody else walking around.
Well, it definitely separates the people that are trying to push themselves and from everyone that just, again, wants to pick up a camera and just start doing this either for fun and start charging people. Because there's a lot of things that you got to sacrifice, you know what I mean? Like,
sleep.
If you got to stay up till 1 in the morning editing, sleep for like 3 hours, get up at 5:30 for sunrise, right?
Yep.
Start shooting for about 2 hours from 5:30 to 7:30, and then when that's done, go back to bed and then wake up at like around 1, which is prime afternoon where the event is busy, and you start doing more photos, and literally hang out for the rest of the day, and then at night around 8, 9 when the show starts dying down, 10, you go back in your trailer, you just hit edit all the way again till 1, or get the sunset shoots first.
Yeah.
Then go into the trailer and do all the editing till.
That's what I did pretty much. Yeah, pretty much woke up, I went to bed. I did a sunset shoot. I burned class on the Friday night. Did a couple of cars that were there already.
Yeah.
And talked to a couple of guys that had booths in the strip down the Grand Bend. Laid out. Like, hey, can you, before you go, to your trailer, to your hotel, can you lay your car out this way for me?
Yeah.
And they're willing, because now they know who I am, they know what to expect.
Yeah.
So, hey, put your car this way for me, so in the morning when I get up, I can shoot it.
Yeah.
This
So
way.
the sun's hitting it this way.
Yeah,
It'll
so
look better with the picture.
I looked on the app, I'm like, the sun's coming from that way.
Yeah.
Can you put it this way? So in the morning, I get up, I don't have to worry about, hey, the car's on the right way, or whatever. I can just shoot it, and it's perfectly set up.
Yeah.
So I get up at 5:30, or like, go to do sunset shoot, go to the trailer, edit a little bit, hang out. You can hang out at the barbecue, buddies are there. You know, hang out.
Yeah.
The content's already taken care of. It's safe.
Set, ready to go.
And I know what to do. So when I go to the trailer at night, I don't stay up too late. I go to the trailer in my car. I sleep in my car one night. Get my car, have my iPad there, editing in the car.
Yeah.
Just putting content together, and then in the morning, obviously go to sleep, get up, go out, shoot first thing in the morning, go right back to the car, do a little editing until I feel tired, go to sleep. And then whenever I wake up at 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, the show's already busy, and everyone's kind of just coming in, rolling in, and I can shoot roll at the same time. And I didn't miss anything.
Really?
Because there's usually a little lull.
Little line?
Little dead area time between like when the event people wake up
and the rolling
and the rolling happens. There's a window of time.
Yeah.
So you can skip it and sleep because you don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
You might as well go get a nap in, get some edit done, get a shower or whatever, and then you're good to go for content. The more content you have, I can, like from now, I can stop shooting 2 months ago. I still have enough content for the year.
No, like the amount of shows that you go to, I'm sure, right?
Yeah. I don't post everything, which I love to, but I can't because I actually couldn't have time to post everything.
I think another huge thing, especially with like upcoming photographers, is that when they're trying to build their portfolio, I think they have to stop worrying about like weekly meets that like friends are putting together down the street, or they gotta stop worrying about smaller events. Like even if they're real shows, they're still small. Like you have to put yourself in the position where you're dealing with like the big boy events. Go to Fitted, go to Import Fest, go to Import Expo. You know what I mean? Go to these big boy shows where the big boy cars are, and then learn on that. Because when you have a portfolio, you could have the crispest, cleanest pictures, but if it's again, no offense to anybody, but if it's a picture of like a base Lancer, like
It better be really good.
it better be super good.
I seen some of those
Super good.
stock Corolla. I was like, they're like a '90s Corolla, and this person went off on it. I was like, they don't even need a quality car to shoot. You can shoot anything.
Yeah.
You can shoot a
No,
regular
like
car.
it's possible.
Yeah.
It's not that it's not possible to do that, but when you have a portfolio, people want to see that you've been involved with big shows, big names, big people.
People trust you to
like
shoot their car.
Like you don't even have to pay. Like okay, so for example, if I go to a Fitted or Import Fest and your car's there, and I do shoots of your car, you don't pay me for them. I just do them for fun.
Yeah.
But then I put it on my portfolio, and people are like, "Oh shit, he's done pictures for Spoke, or he's done pictures of Spoke's car, and they're really clean, they're really cool." Like now I have. He's done pictures for someone that's very well known in the community, very big name, right? Then he's like, oh, they did it at Import Fest or Import Expo, right? Or Fitted, big show, you know what I mean? So he's affiliated by going to these big shows, right? Then his quality is really good. If you have those three, people are gonna be interested in you, and then they're gonna be like, you know what? Like if your rates aren't that bad, especially for like if you're just starting out, people are gonna be like, you know, like okay, let's give this guy a chance, you know. I know everyone works differently, but I'm the type of person to always look around, and if I see something I like, regardless of their age, you know, whatever the, you know, girl or guy or you know, race, doesn't matter at all. If quality's good, then I'm willing to give them to that opportunity. You know what I mean? Comes back to the whole thing with Arda. I saw Arda's stuff. Amazing work. I didn't even know his age. I knew he was young. I didn't know his age. Met him, found out how young he was even more impressed. Then did the shoot with him. And by the way, finding out his age, like when I went to go get him, pick him up, didn't alter my mind and how the quality of the pictures were going to come out.
It was just surprising.
It was just very surprising. Like, and it was just like I didn't even have doubt in my head saying like, oh, this kid probably like fakes the photos and like edits them a certain way or does some Photoshop. I don't know. Like, you know, like no, like that didn't even come across my mind once. I was just more surprised that he was that young. I was actually more intrigued to work with him, and
he wants to do it. Like he's not like let me have some fun. Like it's more like
no,
I
like,
want to like do this.
And he's so well rounded because not only did he did car shots for me, he did portraits for me, And all the merchandise pictures on my website, he did.
Oh yeah.
All the merchandise pictures he did on my website, he did. So he was very diverse and versatile when it came to what he was shooting, how he was shooting it, you know. And I didn't even have any issues or problems. Like I didn't even mind going to his house to pick him up for the shoot. I did the same things. I picked him up as well. I did everything because he's young, so he doesn't have a car, which is understandable. Like if it's a photographer, like someone in their like mid-20s, late 20s, and they're like really good or whatever, even if they're whatever, and they're like, you know what, you gotta come get me. I don't want to drive you. You guys, but it's the personality is important to me. Yeah. That if they're really cool and you're understandable with the situations, like I'll come get you. And some people was like, really? I mean, you're not gonna take the bus. Like here, something, right? But if they have a car. Yeah, they have a car and do you want to ride? Yeah. Location, there's a lot of different factors that can if the location is like around where you live, I'll just drive. But if it's like, if I'm going to pick you, for example, we're shooting here, I'll come pick you up with my car. Or like we're shooting a location, there's no point of us driving two cars. It depends, like, for me, some locations I can't bring two cars. Because too suspicious. Yeah. So I'll say, hey, meet me here, we'll leave my car here, we'll drive one car to the location, 10, 15 minutes up the road. Within reason. Pick me from my house, it makes sense that we drive east together, because you come from the west, not west, but you know. Yeah. You come from the west end-ish. One end from the other. Here, you're passing me, there's no point in driving two cars there. That's within reason. But sometimes you're like, hey, like really? I gotta go out of my way. There's just people trying to get, I don't know. I don't know if it's laziness, I don't know if it's just people feeling like they're above, I don't know. There's a lot of factors to go into, but some guys, I'm like, yeah, no problem, come grab you or whatever. Show you my car, I'm shooting your car, I'll meet you at your house, leave my car at your house. Yeah. Because we're going somewhere where having two cars now is tricky, because now I gotta park my car somewhere without getting kicked out. Yeah. I gotta shoot a car, that's more problems. It's easier if there's one car, you pull up the location, shoot it, and roll out. Jump in the passenger seat and just drive away. Yeah. Before security kicks you out. That works much better. Yeah. So if you know where you're gonna shoot, everything's planned ahead. You say, okay, let's meet at Scarborough Town Center. Leave my car there, which I've done before, and we go. Yeah. Go to location, out west, for example. So you'll save gas. Everyone saves gas money. I say, hey, you know what? Give me a ride. I'll knock off a little bit of money off of it for gas. Yeah. Now you're driving me. Yeah. When people have offered, I'll drive you to the location, come pick you up. I'm game. If I'm not busy for it. Yeah. But yeah, I'd say right now it's a bit of a gray area of picking up or dropping out. It's a lot of factors. It's a lot of iffies. You gotta trust the person. Like for me now, when people ask for a shoot, I know them now. It's not like random people DM me. It's like, here's a price, and obviously they disappear. But it's like you gotta be someone special if you don't know the person, and they're like, yeah, I'll come pick you up, or you pick me up, kind of thing. And it's just like, ooh, that's a. I gotta know you a little bit more. We're hopping in the car. You're gonna wine and dine me first. To roam around in your car all day. I mean, some guys I do it. I'll go with them and say, okay, like the most fun shoots I have is when I go to their house, drop my car off there, hop in their car, and just spend like a couple hours with them. Just chilling and just like go around. Yeah. And they're like shooting around their town or whatever. Where they live. And I think we did it in the States. I did bring my car around that. Not my car. My wife's car. We used to get like, okay, I live here, but can we drive around different locations? Yeah. And shoot cars. Like, I'm game. It's the U.S. I don't know where it is. Yeah. So I'll ride along. We'll follow you. We went to different locations, amazing spots we went to. I went to Buffalo on last Friday, and I crossed the border. I went to go see Bill Burr at the comedy festival. I love that guy. It's hilarious. But just driving through Buffalo, I was only there for like 4 hours. I was just like, there's a lot of places. A lot of nooks and crannies. This is abandoned here today. A lot of it's abandoned, right? So I'm looking at it, I'm like, wow, like this would be, this here, this spot there. Like it'd be like, it just brings like an aesthetic to it where it's just like, I can understand why people are shooting here, right? So. Yeah, Buffalo's like, I think we went for a show once and it was during the day. Right, why is the town so quiet? So we made a whole video, we shot on the streets, we did all we wanted to do because there's no traffic at all. Nighttime came in, it was wild. It was wild. But okay, we know what happens. It's nighttime place. When I went to the Bill Burr show at around like 7 p.m., which was still night, it was mediocre. Wasn't crazy for traffic-wise. But then as soon as we got out of the show, which ended at around 10:30, 11, it was like there was parties. All the restaurants were packed outside. The party buses were on the streets. Like traffic was insane. Yeah. Like I was like, oh my God, I hate traffic. Like literally, like my 407 bill is so bad because I absolutely hate traffic. Like, I will pay the $25 just to have like the extra like 6 minutes of my life free.
That's too low. I need 15 at least.
It's like
I have a line of 15 minutes.
I look at the GPS. Like if I see like if I'm going from Vaughan to Hamilton, and I can see right around Milton, there's about 15 minutes or 10 minutes of traffic, and then on top of that in Burlington, there's another 10 minutes of traffic. I was like, nah, I'm gonna go 407.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah, no, for short runs, like, I'll suffer a little bit.
No. And that's what I liked about working at my previous job was I worked night shift, so I didn't have to I didn't have to worry about the 407 because I'm going to work at 9 p.m., 10 p.m. and I'm leaving at 6 a.m. So it's like
you're flipped.
And then the way I'm going is always different. 6 a.m. I'm going away from the city, and at night I'm going towards the city.
Yeah, it works.
It's perfect.
It works perfectly that way.
Right.
Makes sense.
So, but yeah, it's, all right. I want to talk about something. Since this is perfect time, and we started this again. H2OI.
Which one?
Wasaga Beach.
Oh.
Yeah. Zoom in on that face. Zoom in. So, we all know what happened this past weekend. This was the third year it's happened here. It's a third. I know. The fact that it's happened for a third time in a row,
What's that? Yikes.
Big yikes. Now, your thoughts, thought process, opinions.
All right. So when the idea first came out for the Canadian one, I was like, I don't know. I've been to one in the States.
Yeah, the Maryland one.
Maryland one. That was good fun. It was 2019, I think I went, and that was when it was starting to get a little crazy.
Yeah.
But I was told for years it's really good. I missed it, didn't have time. I didn't commit to the idea of going. I was still kind of like getting better at in the scene, but I still wanted to get in the U.S. market because that's where there's a lot more money there in the U.S.
Of course.
So I was like, all right, I'll go to the show, shoot cars I already know. I know some people. I'll walk around the strip and shoot cars.
Mm-hmm.
And I did, and then it worked out. So I was like, okay, the Canadian one, the idea that I'm like, oh, we're gonna do this, but then takeovers were a thing. I was like, this may not end well. But I was like, I'll give them the benefit. Maybe they can make it civil. I'm not gonna knock it.
I didn't even think that it was gonna be something. I didn't even think it was gonna turn out like that because takeovers were a thing at that time. What was it, 2019?
18, 19, kind of got more publicized.
It was, yeah. They had the huge takeovers scene in 2019 where the cops caught a bunch of people.
Yeah.
People were getting put under the gun, which is rightfully so because everyone.
There's rules.
There's rules. Everyone that got caught, and I hope the people that haven't got caught get caught. It's you know what I mean. You shouldn't be doing that shit. But it was a big thing, and I didn't think it was gonna turn into that, but it went real quick. It went sideways real quick.
I was like, oh, I'm down for the idea. A couple of my buddies were like, we're gonna go we're on the fence. We don't know how this may like end. Not end, but because we're down for the crew. Like, we go to the issue in the States.
Like the idea sounded very like the first year it came out. The idea sounded so appealing. It was like it was cruise to the beach, chill at the beach, play beach volleyball, go in the beach,
cruising around
the water with your boys, have like a car show on the beach, do this, do that, right? It was all game, and I was like, that sounds like fun, right? Not gonna lie. Then what happened was the very first year that it happened, the CSCS show at Cayuga was on the same day, and I was like, Actually, no, hold on. No, I take that back.
Different day?
I take it back.
I don't remember what day it was.
No. I take it back. That was the second year that they had the HOI last year. That's when the CSCS. Because I didn't go to CSCS and my first time going with my own car was last year. Right? So I take that back. The first time I probably wasn't doing anything. So, so I don't know what happened. I just didn't end up going. I didn't know why. It might have been a different show. It might have been because I was doing something else. I didn't go. And after the first night, it went so south that we should have built the wall. That's how south it went.
It was showing the wheel around.
Donald Trump should have came up, built the fucking wall, all right? Because that shit went way too south.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. Like it was. I think back in the day, I seen photos of it. You see like cars on the beach, everyone hanging out.
See, now that's the problem, is because there were some photographers I didn't know that go to that. Obviously, all the photographers that went to that just for like the purpose of the event to shoot and to see. It was a conflict of interest because it's like I'll give him the first time. I'll give him a pass because no one knew how it was going to turn out, and
I thought about going myself. I was like,
I did too. I did too.
I may want to go shoot this thing, see what it turns out to, but I think I didn't go.
Well, and then what happened was we saw what happened. Now the photographers that I knew that went, they only released content of them actually shooting cars on the beach and like shooting cars there. But there were a handful of photographers that I knew of, and just other people in the scene that I knew of that were posting on media about the shit that was happening. Not in a good way of saying like, yo, this is not responsible. They were engaging and adding more fuel to the fire, you know, while things were happening. And I was like, why? Why would you want to be associated with something like that? You know what I mean?
I think it's because in the U.S. style of it, the photographers are more involved. Like the media guys are more like Crispy. He made an after movie every year. For it. So now when
if you look at Crispy after movies, by the way, Crispy, huge fan. I mean, since I got the legacy and everything like that,
exactly.
I hope you see this. You know what I mean? Like I'm basically you in Canada, and fingers crossed. Hopefully, I come down to the States and get to be beside you. But yeah. So when Crispy went to Maryland and did H2OI. He hasn't been for years, but I think it was 2019. 2019 or 2018 or something he went, I believe.
He's been going for almost every year.
Almost. And then I think the last time he did, like he still covered, like there's going to be some bad, like he covered where like some of the cars got like plates pulled or impounded. Not for doing stupid shit though, because they were too slammed, stupid camber. They were very strict, right? So like he was capturing that content rather than capturing people doing donuts in an intersection or harassing cops or anything like that. No, and that's why Crispy, like I have respect for him because he'll attend the event, but he won't focus on the negativity and stupidity of it.
The event in its whole.
He'll
show a little bit of it, but then you understand this is the culture. We're having fun.
Yeah.
And doing burnouts and people are on the back streets doing all kinds of wild stuff. He filmed some of it, but in the sense of like, this is the event. This is part of it. We're not gonna, bias it to car shoots and vlogging.
No, people know when they come to these events, you run the risk of having trouble with the police because
they pay money for it.
Yeah.
Guys say, I got $2,000 with me cash to get myself out of whatever situation. They all have planned out going forward, knowing what's gonna happen. Yeah. But they do have a level of respect of, don't be an idiot. And you have some guys come in and make it worse. So some guys will do burnouts, and they know within reason, hey, do burnout for 5 seconds, stop, and go. But don't do like intersections, sliding around, and there's like, wait.
If you already have a cop magnet car, like if your car is highlighter yellow and it's slammed to like a quarter inch off the ground, and you can't make it over speed bumps, and you have like -10 camber, and you're straight piped, and you're literally the center of attention because of that, and then you start doing stupid shit like two-stepping, burnouts, donuts. You're just adding on to the shit the cops are already gonna nail you for. So that 2K will get you out of the original, sir, you have too much camber, sir, you're too low. Sure, that'll get you out of that.
Impound fees and
but no. Maybe barely impound fee, barely. But then as soon as you start doing two-stepping and you're doing the donuts and the burnouts, that 2K ain't gonna save you. Your license suspended, your car's impound. You're done. So that's why I was just like, I don't know why people that already are in that position where they're a cop magnet and they just add on to it. It's just like you're already asking. You know what I mean? You're asking for it.
Because with Sega thing, I seen how like the end of how the US one kind of ended.
Yeah.
I'm like, they're going to now just carry it on here because you can't, not because you shouldn't, but because you can't. And they let it slide.
It was funny because the original OG H2OI in the States was an amazing show.
It looks like a show.
I think it was like a Euro show. And then eventually more came out, and it was an amazing show. I remember watching videos, all that stuff, and then it started getting a lot of hype and clout when all this shit started going down with the cops plating cars, impounding them because of what they were, people started doing loose shit, then it started getting more traction on social media.
Yeah.
Then, the last 2 years, or the last couple of years it's happened, it's been worse and worse. Someone found a bright idea to do the same thing over here, not realizing what the actual show was supposed to be or meant to be back in the day. They basically be like, nah, I don't want to have a prestigious show that happens once a year. I just want to have a wild ass party and fuck some shit up. That literally, that was the goal. That was the goal.
Your riot level style. Like, what are we doing?
I'll tell you right now, the first year that HOI with Sega happened, my jaw was dropped. I was just like, there's no way that many people can be that stupid. Like, we had people come from Quebec, Montreal, Ottawa. I remember. Did you remember when the news camera came and they interviewed the one kid that wasn't even from Ontario? He was from Montreal, where you could tell his thick French accent, right? And the news lady was like, well, "What made you? Aren't you guys afraid of the cops? What made you do this?" And he's sitting there like all happy. And I wanted to. Oh man, you know how many people want to smack the shit out of that kid? He was like, "Oh, they can't stop us. We're too many for them. I'd like to see them try." And blah blah blah. And I'm like, "Oh my god, there's no way in hell that just happened." I was so upset. I remember this clearly. I came home. I was living with my ex at the time. After watching that video, like I was working during the day. I saw it on lunch or something like that. Swear to God, I wanted to like kick down walls in my apartment. I wanted to kick down walls in my apartment because for everything, and this was 3.5 years ago, so I wasn't even considered someone cool or relevant in the car scene at all. So I wanted to kick down the walls in my house because I said, for all of the people out there that put the time, the effort, the passion into doing this, because it's truly what they love and what they want to do and whatever. And then for something like that to happen, like, of course the cops are going to look at us a certain way. Of course locals will look at us a certain way. You know what I mean? I was like, it's okay for a painter to be recognized in a town for being an artist and being something good, right? But now it's recognized for car enthusiasts to be criminals because we like to speed race and we like to do wild shit, right? Exactly. Like two-step burnouts, cause damage to shit. Like, you know what I mean? Now they look at us as like criminals because we like to fight the police every other day. You know what I mean?
Like, I always want to go.
It's like
for a cruise. Yeah. Pull over. It's like you're part of the takeover guys. It's like one person. It was a girl guy. Remember someone said to me they got pulled over by a cop and the cop asked if they were part of it. I think it was, but they were saying the whole wild car scene under control. Like, no, I'm just gonna work. But they drove their, not show car.
It's somewhat of a decent car.
They showed up, it was like not a show car, but it was still like,
You put wheels and an exhaust on your car, and you become you become a criminal now.
You can't do anything when they go, you're part of the guys. I'm like, they actually have to. I was like, wow. Like, just assume that you're part of it. Like, no, I'm just going to work with my car because I like my build. I want to enjoy a nice day outside.
Oh yeah.
And then they get pulled over, ticketed, whatever. And I was like, this is getting. Can't enjoy it. Like for me, I sold I got rid of the Volvo because it's like I can't do anything anymore. Like anything I do more, I'm just gonna pull over. Yeah. And this thing, the CHR is like an anti-police car. Because they look at me and laugh, they smile. I'm like, this is perfect.
They're not gonna do anything.
But now they kind of cap me at like building a car I actually really want to build.
Yeah.
Because I know if I build it, I'm not gonna get to enjoy it. So most of the cars that unfortunately don't come to shows anymore because they're scared of getting pulled over. Yeah. So like, you know what? I'll leave my car home. I'll drive it daily to the show and hang out with my friends. So like now you killed off half the car scene because now cars stay at home, come out once, twice a year, cruise around at night, maybe if they get lucky, put it away.
But like I can't still especially like living in that moment the first year it happened. I couldn't wrap my head around it.
It was mind-boggling.
It was mind-boggling, blowing. It was such. I was bamboozled by what happened, and then I was more upset, not that it happened, but of how many people were promoting it, supporting it, like.
I was down the first time to support it. I was like, I'm game out.
Not even prior. Like during the event.
Oh, during the event, yeah.
Like supporters during the event. Like the amount of the crowd was huge, but 90% of that crowd are not car owners.
No, there's people want to park.
There's just people that want to fuck shit up. They're going there just to fuck shit up. And then you have the 10% that the people that do own the cars, and 8% out of the 10% want to fuck shit up because they're the ones doing the burnouts, donuts, whatever. I'm sure I can't label everyone that goes to that event as a bad person or bad, because I know for a fact there's a lot of people that went up to that event with nice cars, and they wanted to go because they didn't know what it was going to be. They wanted to go to enjoy it, whatever. Genuinely interested in it, right? And they were like the odd 3-4% of people that own cars that parked their car, chilled, walked around.
Went out and do some shoots.
The
normal H2O.
Sure, so they got some exposure because of, regardless of whatever happened there, people were looking at their cars if it was a cool car or not. So I understand that, but you're being even associated with that. It was just, I know the people that went the first year, right, with cool cars. They didn't go back the second year. They didn't go back this year. There's people that I know that did go back, but hey man,
it's your business.
You do your own, but just know where you're gonna end up if people start calling people out, right? But so that was mind-boggling. It pissed me off like crazy. Skip a year forward. The second one gets announced. I'm like, there's no way people are gonna go.
How are they allowing this?
So I said this is how crazy it was. They announced the second one. Wasaga, the town, found out, and they took.
You're gonna find out for sure.
They put measures and implemented measures. They put like ridiculously high speed bumps on every freaking entrance, regardless if it was a parking lot, a restaurant, a plaza, the beach. You would need a Toyota Highlander to get over these bumps without scraping. Okay, put it that way. They did all that work, enforced the shit out of the police. Because they're like, nah, this shit is not happening again. Because the first year, we thought the first year was bad, where they were harassing the cops, throwing shit at them, whatever, aggravating, right? Second year comes, that was when CSCS at Cayuga, I went to that event. I'm like, first of all, I'm not going to miss a CSCS event now that I have my car out.
Yeah.
Second of all, I'm not going to a show that was like stupid last year, which was basically the takeovers.
Basically, unsanctioned event.
Basically, and I knew that there was going to be massive heat at the second one. So second one comes, and I don't even know how it's possible, but it was worse than the first one. It got more public, got more rowdy. People, I think what happened was people were like, oh yeah, you think you're going to do these implement measures and put these speed bumps and do this? Okay, watch what we're going to do. I remember there was someone going around and taking the speed bumps out. I remember they had a truck and they had like some special equipment, and I remember I was watching it and they were taking the speed bumps out, and they got fined for it, they got in trouble for it, and then it got worse with the cops the second year, because I think there was that the video, the viral one, when I think a cop he was being pretty decently respectful, even though he was pretty sure aggravated with the situation. You got thousands of people around you, and you're there for your own safety, right?
Yeah.
Trying to protect the people that don't want to be there. He was checking up he was driving through the street. He was in his cruiser, and the fucking amount of crowd around this cop car, you know what I mean? He just wanted to get through. The cop had his lights on, like, let me just go through. I'm just doing my rounds around the block. And they started throwing like slushies, shit in at his face in the car, like, are you insane? You know what I mean? Like, God forbid. And then people see these mass videos of when like there's a mass amount of cops and they're literally grabbing everybody that they could see and putting them in handcuffs. People are like, oh, that's abuse and violence. And it's like, are you guys okay in the mind? Like, you guys are the ones throwing shit at these guys
for no reason. How are they doing? They're just going where they're going.
Watch what happens when 50 cops come by. All you need is 50 cops. Sure, there's 200 people, sure, but 50 cops can take 50 people, put them in handcuffs, and they're like, oh, this is abuse. This is not right. This is whatever. It's like, I don't know, man.
You get where he's coming.
You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. It's very simple. You know what I mean? Thinking that it can't get any worse, and it got a lot worse, and it was just really violent, and I can't believe people still showed up to that event. The amount of people was crazy, because like we thought the first year was like, shit, there's thousands of people. Second year was the same. We were like, oh, maybe like 500 max, if anything.
People
No.
go back the second came back. I was like,
They came back.
I thought we should know better.
And there's a lot of people from Ottawa and Montreal still came down again for the second year.
Surprisingly, like, why would you come this far for
For a shit fest.
Yeah, like, I don't understand.
Not even a show where you win trophies or awards, you know, nothing like that. It's not even.
If I hang out, alone would be fine. Like if we're gonna hang out at whatever beach,
Yeah.
Bluffs, 50 cars at Bluffs, you gotta call ahead, obviously. But I'm saying like we know what we're going for, but this is when like we're gonna go party because we're gonna get in trouble. It's like,
And I think
there's no need for this, but
I think when it comes to town, I want to say 80% of the town did not want this to happen. The public,
nobody really
the
wants that.
city,
Yeah.
the township, no one wanted it to happen. But I want to say 15% did, and those were the business owners. The guys that were renting out their cottages, the Airbnbs, the guys with the restaurants, the Walmart. Well, I don't know the Walmart. They destroyed that parking lot, but I mean they probably got a lot of business. But
People buying water and stuff in general.
yeah, just like the businesses got a lot of money, but that still doesn't take away from the fact that they caused a lot of damage.
More damage than they're actually worth.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no
So,
need for that at all.
but so yeah, the second one was a shit show. It was the worse than the first one, and now, lo and behold, last week number 3. You know what I mean?
Like, why are we still doing this?
Why are we still doing? And I felt bad, and I don't. So, did you see the poster for it, for the third one? And it had, I don't know what his name is. The guy with the white and red Marlboro Mercedes.
Right, I know him. Yeah.
Yeah, it
I
had
know his name, but I don't know.
He's the one who posted it?
No. But it had his car on the poster.
Oh damn.
Like his car was the
I
poster
was
for
good,
his
but I
drive.
didn't click into what it was.
I don't think he even showed up. I mean, I
think he
wouldn't.
would show up.
I don't, but I don't know. See, that's another thing. It's like, could you imagine if like because we don't know who this person is that's doing this, right? They're just probably some idiot putting it together.
Maybe. A lot of times it's a young person doing it.
And nobody knows,
Yeah.
right? And they just got on hype, but they go use like they go take your picture of your car and they use it as the H2I poster, and then now your name's on that.
It's like I was no part of it. What happened? The thing is, my picture's been used for so many different events. I can't keep track. So I'll see my
No,
post.
your specific car.
Oh, my car. I think my phone.
No, your car.
Yeah, then it's like, hey, take my car down. Like, what are you doing? But at the same time, people see a car like that on the poster, it invites a certain kind of crowd.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, that car's be there. I want to go.
Yeah.
I see other cars like it, which in an advertisement way,
It works.
it works.
But
It's not right.
you don't want to have your name on that event at all.
Because they're going to look for you. It's like, who owns that car?
Yeah.
I'll come look for you
Now
first.
you're the event organizer, or you're a guy that does something, right? Yeah. So third one comes, and where were we? I went to Saturday. I went to Summer Showdown in Simcoe County.
Is that Norwalk?
Yeah.
I've been doing that. I've been doing
Norwalk. Yeah. Great show. And then I went on Sunday. We drove all the way up to Ottawa for Caledon, CSCS.
That's in Ottawa?
Yeah.
I was in Northern Ontario.
It's just shy of Ottawa.
I've never been there.
Caledon, yeah. It's 4.5 hours.
I know, I never went.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's too far. I was like,
I never went either, so I
Yeah.
wanted to, let's experience it. It was a great drive. Great drive.
Yeah.
So, like, there were things to do. And people would be like, oh, that was too far. There were other shows on Sunday that were in the GTA. We just chose to go to Caledon because we wanted to go to Caledon, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
So there were things to do. So for the people that are like, oh, there was nothing else to do, it's like, nah, you just weren't looking hard enough, right? It's very simple.
Yeah.
So I knew it was going down, whatever. I think I didn't see much the Saturday. Like I knew it was stuff, like H2I was happening. I didn't see much happening. Like obviously just your normal shenanigans, like normal happened. It didn't seem like a lot of people were going, right? Sunday night comes, and that video gets posted of the guy jumping up and down on this police cruiser, smashing the shit out of it, punching the windows, causing a ruckus, and then you saw the crowd around this cruiser and this guy. You're talking at least minimum of 500 people around surrounding this person, right? And literally everyone had a phone in their hand, recording it, yeah, screaming, yeah, like woohoo, or even like whatever, like oh my god, whatever.
Yeah.
And you can say what you want. You know, you might go to church every Sunday, but if you're one of those people recording that guy doing that, you're just promoting, adding more fuel to the fire, and you're no better than anyone else there, than the guy doing it himself, right?
No one pulled off the car, nothing. Just let him keep going. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
we're all gonna film it. Do you realize someone's gonna have to pay for this.
Well,
They'll find somebody. Someone's gonna get nicked for it.
And then I think right then after that point, everything else started happening. Like I know the Walmart parking lot meet that always happens there at the Sunday and the Saturday. Like people are like doing ridiculous burnouts, two-stepping like normal. Like yeah, you'll get two-stepping at almost every pop-up meet you go to nowadays.
Yeah.
That's not like two-stepping nowadays is like your average bullshit that happens.
Yeah, you can't stop it at this point.
Can't stop it at this point, which is unfortunate, but it's whatever. But the burnouts, the donuts, it's so unnecessary because one, it's just like unnecessary. Two, you could hurt someone else in the process. You could damage your car, someone else's car, and that leads to bigger issues and problems.
Yeah.
Then a fight breaks loose, and it just she gets wild.
Unnecessary.
And people are like, oh, it's a what if it didn't happen, but it didn't happen. I'm like, yeah, but it could. And they're like, but it didn't.
It takes one time for it to happen, and it all goes. You get one person hurt, then there's more issues down.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people. Because Six Buzz posted that video of the guy jumping up on the car and the cop car and doing shit. And I saw a lot of people in the car scene that didn't go, basically like say, Six Buzz needs to take this down because now they're generalizing all our car enthusiasts as people that are like this.
Yeah.
Which hence is always what happens, and people wonder why. Why do cops treat us like this? Why can't they leave us alone? Blah 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 blah. Well, maybe if you stop doing stupid shit like this, they would leave us alone, right?
We can't take it back now.
And you can't take it back now.
It's out there.
So
exactly.
exactly.
Now is a bit more nervous. See a cop and you're like.
Yeah.
I'm just going out to the grocery store.
Literally. So.
I'm taking my parents' car, so I don't get, so I get pulled over. It's like how you can't enjoy anything without knowing that cop pulled over. They already have their preset. All right, so one of you guys are gonna cause problem for me.
Yeah.
Just a basic inspection.
Yeah.
You already have problems, right? So it's like, I guess the people that are doing the chaos don't have cars. Because if you have a car like obviously yours, mine's a little bit done. Or you build a car, you're not going to go and do that because there's a price to pay.
But there's people that do it though.
I was thinking, like, why? What's the disconnect? Like, there's no reason to.
I don't know if it's all this hype of chasing clout, or like the thousands of people that will be watching. I don't know how they would be able to sacrifice a bad rep for clout. Like you get famous, but for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
It's like that. Marcella chick that threw the chair off the balcony in Toronto, like years ago.
Yeah.
She got a bad rep, but she became stupid famous.
Yeah, but we all know, no one knows her name but Chair Girl. So it's like, you'd be the guy that the stomp on the cop car guy.
Yeah.
Like no one's gonna care about you in 2 weeks. Like they're gonna say, oh yeah, don't talk about. They're gonna say about it. We don't know what you're talking about.
But it's crazy how many. I guess maybe from the example I gave with the chair girl.
Yeah.
Crazy how much opportunity doors opened after she did that with her.
Because her thing was more of a super, super dangerous. No one luckily got hurt.
No one. But she got a fucking feature on Drake's video. He took it down.
He took it back and didn't know. She snuck in there.
Oh, was it?
I think, yeah, because obviously he's not going to pick the girl, pick people from the video.
Yeah.
The people, the agency goes out and says, okay, we need a casting for a party scene, whatever. They go out. And I guess whoever was doing it didn't catch it. Obviously, you can't blame them. They're not watching everything on TV. They're doing work, right? For me, I don't watch the news.
No, that's true. So that's fair. I didn't know. I thought he was the one.
No,
whatever.
Obviously, it was the agency you hire to do your music videos and say, hey, I need 20 people for a party scene, whatever. This is the scene I want. This is people I want. And then not people, but this is the not demographic, but I need these people for this scene and this outfits. So the agency goes out and say, okay, I need to call 20 people, and then she probably snuck in there.
Yeah.
And no one knows her name, obviously.
No.
So then she just got in, and then
the only reason why I know her name is because it's literally my name, but with an A at the end.
Saying, I was like,
Her name's Marcella. My name's Marcello. There's literally the same name with a missing letter.
Well, yeah, in that sense, like he didn't. I don't think it's obviously not his fault. It's whoever he hired didn't check or they didn't know, because obviously there's millions of people in Toronto. Yeah. A girl comes in.
No, that's fair enough.
And they'll come all dolled up, whatever, set up.
Yeah.
And they're ready for the job. It's like, okay, you 10, go.
Yeah.
And you're in, or you get hired for the job.
Yeah.
So it's not, obviously, people say, oh, it's Drake's fault. It's like, no, it's not.
No.
I don't think he's worried about individual
he's
people.
He's got no time to focus on
No, it's like, if it's a one-on-one kind of scene, it's different. Like, you obviously got to...
An interview, he's got to see, like, I want to know what you're like before you come into my video. Like, and that's different.
Certain kind of scenes, right? But if it's like a party scene, people in the background, you're an extra.
No one's going to care.
No one's checking that thorough. Oh, that was a girl from... Like, probably someone else said, hey, this Isn't that
I think she posted it.
like wow?
I think she posted it, and she was like, "Yeah, look at me, I'm featured, blah 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 blah." And then after, that's when all the backlash happened, and people started tagging him.
It could have been the other way around. The person that picked people said, "Hey, why not throw in there for the excitement?" Maybe I don't know. I don't know whoever.
Just to get the views, or just get the exposure, and people are talking about it. Right?
Could be, I don't know what the person had. Probably could be completely innocent. We don't know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like someone should have checked, but probably you couldn't check.
Yeah.
Person in the back room looking through the footage, looking at the pictures, didn't probably realize.
No, I know.
They already knew, right?
So getting back to the final little bit of H2I though, I think it's just a stupid thing, and it boggles my mind that people still end up going to it. There was a lot of backlash on people that I know that went to that this past weekend, and they did something interesting, and they made themselves look kind of dumb and questionable now.
Yeah.
Where they either are a big name or they have some sort of significance in the car scene here in the GTA, and they go to these events, and you can see, like, you know, if they post on their stories or whatever, you know, like what's going on, like if, you know, they're recording the guy on the cop car, or if they're recording people two-stepping, saying, you know, send it, whatever bullshit, right? And then people see that you're doing that, you're promoting it, you're enabling it, you're adding fuel to the fire, and then Monday morning comes and you set up a post saying, like, for the people that wanted to do this, it's so disrespectful, and it has nothing to do with the car scene. It has nothing to do with the car scene. You're the people why. Well, this is why the car scene is like this. And I saw, to be honest with you, and it's upsetting, I saw quite a few people do that, and it's crazy because, you know, Saturday, Sunday, you're the one there. You might not have been doing it, but you're definitely adding fuel to the fire and enabling it to happen.
You're there in the crowd,
and then you go Monday morning and be like, you know, for everyone that did stupid shit, shame on you. The reason why the car scene's the way it is because of people like you, yada yada yada. And that was kind of upsetting because I'm like, there's gonna be people that buy that shit. There's gonna be people that eat it up like no tomorrow.
You can't really post it and then say it's not good. If you like you know, back in the day, the forums, like if there's no pictures, it didn't happen. You gotta show, like, so you're doing a build. Yeah. People want to see pictures of you doing the build. Yeah. So if you like, let's say the event happens and no one films it, no one shoots it could never happen. People, the news will say, "Oh, this happened." We're like,
okay, cool.
Yeah, we didn't know.
Yeah, that's fine.
Like you're posting and promoting it and saying, "Hey,"
literally,
not promoting, but you know,
literally on public. It's it's social media, but it's eyes for the public.
Yeah, because we don't want more people seeing what shouldn't be happening. Obviously, like the media shows what they want to show.
Yeah.
So we're doing media, film or photography. Mm-hmm. I'll know I'll go to a car event. Some ones I've been to, I'm like, okay, there's not the best cars here, there's better cars.
Yeah.
But I can portray the show to be better if I want to shoot the nice cars and don't shoot the bad cars.
Yeah.
So you do with that same event. If you go to H2I, if I were to go there, I'd only do private shoots by the beach, on the strip, maybe a burnout shot or something privately, and then shoot that only and only put that content out. It can look really good.
Yeah.
But if I go there and shoot everything, then it's a whole problem.
Yeah, it's a big issue, right?
Yeah, so either if you're going to go to the event with the purpose of whatever purpose you have, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
If you're going to shoot the cars for the old style H2I,
yeah, you
can go and do that. It's possible.
You got to build your portfolio there, but you just got to be
very careful.
Very careful. But that's why I had a lot of people that do vlogging that went. They not only did they go the first year or the second year, but they gone this year. And I had a lot of, and there are people that I like, and people that I don't have issues with, but it's just like, just why? What's so important to vlog about this to put on your YouTube channel?
You need views, so you can't.
Like, yeah, no, but like,
sell to the masses here.
The views, but like, you get a proper vlog when you go to a big show or whatever like that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I understand. People are gonna want to see. People want to see stupid shit all the time.
People want to see madness.
People want to see. That's what people want.
Yeah, they want to see chaos and craziness. So if you go to that, it will work. Obviously, I've seen guys do car shows and they're normal. And some guys do H2I stuff and they shoot a lot. Like I've seen after movies that are very crazy, on the more crazier side, and then more on the more classier side of being private shoot with the guy.
I've seen a group of cars go up to H2I that are very private. They don't even put their cars in the same area. They far to the right side, far into the beach. They do their own thing. They pack up. They leave. I've seen it before. It's fine, right?
It's doable.
It's doable. It's not that it's not. It's just like people want to be around the shit that's causing a ruckus.
Yeah, look what I saw. Look what I saw.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are we doing here? Promoting it or trying to get it shut down? Not shut down, but in the sense of like, I'm down if you have a proper one, and it's like, everyone shows up where you said, okay, we're picking 50 cars to show up, tell the whole town, that's what we want to do, and do it the proper way. It's game.
It's what, and it's funny you say that. Back in 2020, I had a cruise to Wasaga. I'm in obviously a big member in the Subaru Legacy world, or whatever you want to call it, in Ontario, and I put together a cruise for specifically Subaru Legacy lovers or owners or even just Subaru enthusiasts. But the invite was open to anyone, any make and any model. We didn't care. I set the meetup at my house, like for location, right? I had over 48 cars show up at my house.
Oh, gee, the whole street damn.
No, I lived in Caledon, so I had 7 acres.
Okay,
so
you had space.
We had space. I turned my front lawn into a car show. That's what happened. And then it was really funny. I loved it. So I said, all right, guys, let's go for the cruise. We went up to a cruise. Again, we had 40 cars. Cruised all the way up to Wasaga. Went to the far, I guess if you're looking towards the water, we were on the left side, the far left side of the beach, like where the LCBO was, in that parking lot. Spent 3 hours there, chilling, getting in the water with the guys, drinking beers on the beach, even though you're not supposed to, I'm sorry. All that fun stuff. And then we packed up and we drove home, and it was a good experience. Like it's a good beach vibe. And there was a lot of pedestrians and public people that were taking pictures of cars, because when you have 40 cars in a parking lot that are all somewhat done up, people are like, oh, what's going on here, right? And it brings that vibe back to where it's like, yeah, like this can be cool. It is possible. It's definitely 100% doable if you do it the right way, right? And like I didn't ask for permission. Like, well, you don't have to because we paid for parking.
You don't have to. You bring a certain amount of cars.
It's within reason. But you gotta you call it the city. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna have like 150. I want to have a car show, or I want to have a car event. That's different.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be charging people to come in, that's different. I know HY doesn't charge people, but you're still bringing hundreds of cars, thousands of people, potentially causing damage, potentially making a scene that's not a good scene. You know what I mean? So that's why it just becomes a big mess. So at the end of the day, it's interesting because I obviously wasn't surprised by your answer. I wanted to talk about it because there's a lot of big guys talking about it right now. I saw on social media, and I think the thing that just bothered me the most was a lot of people how they switch sides easily, where they go to the Saturday, Sunday, they're taking the videos, send it, rev it, whatever, and then Monday morning comes and it's like, for all those who've been doing stupid shit, how dare you? You're the ones that are destroying the car scene, kind of thing. It's just like, man, people are gonna eat that and believe it, and it's saddening to see. And I don't know how many times you gotta tell these kids, these people, just be like, yo, like, go to shows, go to track days, go to. Oh, it's too far, it's too expensive, it's too this, it's too that.
Say the beach is far enough.
Buddy, I guarantee you 50% or more people that went to H2Y are coming more than an hour and a half away from Wasaga. I guarantee it.
They're driving. There's a trip for them.
Because I know I used to live in Caledon, and I still live somewhat in that area, somewhat on the weekends, but I'm in Scarborough now. But even in Scarborough, people are coming downtown Toronto, people are coming from Mississauga, people are coming from Brampton, people are coming from Kitchener, people are coming from Ajax, the only people that are close to Wasaga are the people that are going from Barrie and Collingwood. And Collingwood is Wasaga. So literally, like, what car scene is in Collingwood and Barrie?
It's small.
It's a small, I'm not saying there's none, but it's a small one.
And they're not going to be causing the ruckus level, like the level.
85% of people come an hour away from Wasaga. So you can't say that you're traveling far, because the same distance is from Wasaga or from my place here to Cayuga is an hour and 20 minutes.
Or your most sport.
Or most sports an hour. And those are track days, show events, you know what I mean? Like, you can't say it's too far, you can't say it's too expensive. Like, it's just, you're just trying to justify something that's not justifiable.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, right? So it's unfortunate to see it. We're gonna probably next people we have on our brand new fresh podcast here will probably ask the same questions to get their views and point of views about it. Because I think it's important that everyone, I know a lot of people will have the same opinions about it, but I think it's important that everyone gets to share at least what they feel and what they think about it. And it might enlighten or hopefully open up eyes to other people that are wanting to watch this. And hopefully for the younger generation that wants to get into cars, they don't get persuaded by these bad influences, and then they become, the new generation of takeovers, because nobody wants that. I don't want that. I guarantee you a lot of people don't want that, and you're just going to be running around with a target on your back at the end of the day, right? So, but on to the next and final question. We got a hot take, hot seat topic. I've been saving this one. This one has actually come to me within this year. It's bothered me a little bit. I've asked some people about it recently. And since the man sitting beside me is in such love with the stand scene, and he grew up on the stand scene, and it contributes to that point. When it comes to shows, big shows, I'm talking about Import Fest, I'm talking about Import Expo, I'm talking about Fitted, big shows. Do you think the car should be eligible to win in its class, in any class, if it's trailered to the event? Because the car cannot be driven. Because it's not that it can't drive, it's not running, it's just it can't be driven to the event.
So the question is the car eligible for winning awards?
Yeah.
If it was trailered to the show?
Because let's say the car just can't be driven. Let's say got mad stands. There's no fucking way he's driving it down the street, let alone to the show, right? That's what I'm saying. Should the car be considered eligible to even win an award if he can't even make it to the show?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
It's still a build. The roads, but it doesn't matter. The cars. If you build a car in a shop or your garage, it's still a build regardless. So spend time, money, whatever they spend on it. Okay. So if you're bringing it to a show, like obviously a guy with a 1922 whatever, he may not be able to drive it to a show because it's easier from the trailer. Yeah. But sometimes if you have a 2022, I don't know, Ford Ranger and you have a slammed tubbed or whatever. Yeah. And it's not street legal, it still counts as a build. So the show is more giving you awards for the car, not how it got there. Or it doesn't matter because the show, the car is there by itself. The trailer isn't there. Okay. The car is built. So I've seen cars. Remember that blue and carbon fiber Lexus? I think it's an LS.
The one with the carbon fiber put everything in fenders, and the front end.
The seats carbon fiber. This guy went full up.
Was that Import Fest?
I don't know. He was back. He came to Import Expo once. I met him a few times. I know him.
Maybe.
I met him in Granberg once.
I think so.
It's crazy. This guy spent all kinds of money. Obviously, he's not driving this car. He spent so much money building it, and really you're driving around a carbon fiber LS or whatever car it was on the road. No, you're not. But still, it's the fabrication work and all the work you put into it. It's like, okay, you still put time and effort as anyone else did that even drove the car there.
Like, I can understand if the show's far. Like, if you got to go to a show in the States and you don't want to drive the car because you don't want rock chips, you want that shit, that's understandable, 100%. But like, it's hard for me to wrap my mind around something where it's like, I understand the build and I understand how people still put in a lot of time and money and sweat and tears and blood into the car, which is well deserved and should be appreciated. But if you can't drive your car down the street,
is it because it can't drive or because you want the cops?
No. Take cops out of the image. Take cops. Take road legalization out of the picture. It's literally just not functionally able to drive because of, let's say, it's got way too much camber, way too low, can't do a full lock, can't go over bumps, can't do it. Like it's like literally you can't fucking drive the car.
I see the perspective you have there.
It's just because I feel like there's a lot of people that they do go super low, and I'm not even talking about air ride. I'm talking about static for the most part. Yeah. Because obviously air ride's adjustable. I've seen some low static builds that I think his name's Justin Jackson. He drives a silver or metallic gray Subaru Legacy, a sedan. He is super slammed on work wheels.
Local?
From Bolton. You've probably seen. He was at. Oh, were you fitted? No.
I came after Fitted. I showed up.
He was there for fitted.
I didn't see him. I came after at the end.
So he's my boy, Justin. Hope you're enjoying your little feature here on the podcast. He's got an amazing legacy. Super clean build. Super nice. He's got the aesthetics plus the power put down for it. Can't really use the power with the setup he's got.
Yeah, that's
but it's still nice. It's a nice build,
yeah.
right? And right, so he lives the stance lifestyle. He is low to the ground, cambered out, whatever. But I think the most respect I have for Justin is that he literally drives that car. Like he drives it. He doesn't only drive it on weekends. He drives it to work if he wants to.
Yeah.
Drives it back. You know what I mean? He drives it to the shows, fitted, Import Fest, Import Expo, whatever show it is. He's there, right? And he's almost as low as some of these guys that are fucking low. Like he's chassis scraping. He's low. He paints rubber on the fenders of his wheel wells. Like that's how low he is. Yeah. All right. So I have respect because he drives the car there. It's not the greatest ride for him. He understands that, but he takes the pride in being able to drive the car there and being able to be like, I brought my car here. Like I drove it here. Now I understand like with trailering and it's like you still bring your car there, but it's just like, man, like you're not able to. There's a lot of people that like look at that and be like, yo, like we build our cars super low, we do this, we do that, we spend a lot of money, but yet we still drive our cars here. Anybody could trailer a car here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see the perspective.
Like if you can't drive your car here, you can't win an award because your car can't make it here. No. I'm not saying I'm not saying like even if you trailer it. I'm just saying like let's say trailers didn't exist. If you can't drive your car to the show, you can't win an award because your car's not in the show. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying.
I see the perspective, but at the same time, it's still if you build, for example, if I were to go from here to Bolton,
Yeah.
shows there, and the road conditions are terrible.
Yeah.
I wouldn't drive my car. I'll trailer it. Because some guys I know, they can drive the car there if they wanted to, but it's the distance of damage you're going to do to your car there, which is not worth it. So you're going to, crack your lip on something.
Yeah.
I've seen, in the US scene, you have the guys that have the crazy stance cars that are super clean.
Yeah.
And you see the clapped out ones.
Yeah.
But then they put them in different categories because there's guys that the clapped ones, they're obviously daily driving it, and they're getting whacked around. Obviously, the rules in certain states are different.
Yeah.
As our rules here are different for stance cars. You go outside with 8 degrees of camera, the cops are already on you, so it's not even worth it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, car is negative 10, 15, negative 20, you're rolling on the road, damage will happen to your car, and then you can't get to the show because you cracked a barrel, you lost your front lip. The other day, we were doing a shoot, and a buddy, he lost his front bumper a little bit because the road had a bump you couldn't see. It was like one of those weird bumps. You roll in the corner, and he went into it, the bumper came right off the car. It's like a wrap, whatever, it does not get damaged from point A to point B.
Yeah. And
then I seen guys, they'll have the same stance car, they trailer to the show, but they'll drive it around in town. So
I've seen that.
they'll drive it because for adjusting 86 cents.
Yeah, I've seen his car.
So sometimes I've traveled with him different shows in the U.S. He'll trailer his car some places, but in his town, he can drive his car no problem because the roads are perfect.
Yeah.
The police are cool. They know he's not going to cause a problem. Doing burnouts and making noise. They know that he's taking his car out to enjoy it or do a photo shoot. He's putting it back.
Yeah.
So he'll drive his car around town, or he says, "Oh, we're gonna have a barbecue here. Or we're doing this here. All right, I'll drive the car down, but can someone come with me in case something goes wrong?"
Yeah.
Because the car maybe will break. The roads are not perfect. Obviously.
No, they're never perfect.
So when they trailer the car to the show, it's more like you spent 3, 6, 4, 7 months preparing the car for this show. You don't want that 20-minute drive, half an hour drive, something to break, and all your work is undone because you lost a front lip or a pothole got you. Some random thing happens.
Yeah.
Some of these cars, most stance cars I know, they drive around in their town or their city or wherever they're from. They drive it there. But when it comes to the show, the car is already washed, cleaned, whacked, everything's mint.
Yeah.
You don't want that to get damaged on your way to the show. But they're just like a complete trailer queen, which they have some of those.
Yeah.
And you're like, stance cars are not really trailer queens. Mostly they're running around on the street, scraping, whatever. But they know for a show day, I'm trailering it because I want it to look. They put the front lip on.
Possible.
The front lip. They don't want to bake in a fender on the way there because the worst thing, which is sad to see, at some shows I've seen in the U.S. cars mint, fender got whacked just because they hit a pothole on the way to the show. They got a flat tire on the way to the show.
Yeah, there was a post recently on Instagram. I don't know if you've seen it. It was like it was in the States. It was that the pink Subaru, the blob eye, or the bug eye, and he had this. He's pretty low, pretty cambered out, had his amazing body kit on it, nice lip, and bump, and the whole lip shattered. Like it was like a fiberglass lip.
Yeah.
It was paint match, right? But he still brought the car in the show and like tried to piece the lip back together, just like visually, so people understood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I could see that. Like,
that
they don't want to damage their cars. I understand.
For the show day itself, in that respect of shows.
Yeah.
Like if
there's been a lot of controversy. I've had a lot of people come up to me and ask me that this year specifically, and then I've actually had the chance to sit down and think about it personally and be like, oh, you know what, it's a good topic to talk about. I don't, because personally, like a lot of people might be watching or might sit there and be thinking like I'm on the opposite side of your opinion, but I'm actually not, because this topic was brought up to me multiple times by different people this year, and I had time to think about it. And to be honest with you, I'm not too sure. Originally, I was like on the fence of like, you know what, they should drive their fucking car to the show if they want to award. Originally, you know what I mean? Just because like there's a lot of people that put in that time and effort, the same effort that someone else might put into their car, but like I feel like some people might find a little more pride being able to drive it to the shows. I think, or just being like, you know, like my car's not worthless because my car can't be driven. You know what I mean, or something like that, right?
Some guys I know, they drive the car down to a certain show, and then I've seen it. They're like, you know, going import expo, import fest because you're in Toronto. And on the way there to get yanked over by the cops.
Oh yeah.
That's a whole problem. It's like now the first thing goes is like I don't want to go to shows anymore because it's not worth bringing my car down that I spent a year getting the fitment just right.
Yeah. And
then I go down the highway and it costs me over on the way to the show.
Yeah.
So screw it, I'm just gonna trailer. That's one thing. And then another thing, they go down there. Let's say they get 3 blocks from the place, smash an oil pan.
Yeah.
They're like, damn, I was like a block from the venue.
Yeah.
It's like screw it, I'll just trailer. In that sense, so I'm saying, sense of I see the perspective of like people saying, car can't drive, you shouldn't be in the show. It's like yes and no, but at the same time, they didn't do anything different than you did. They just said, hey, I put too much work into this. Like for my car, for example, I'm not gonna get in the front lip if I whack it on the way to a show. There's no way I have to physically drive to the US to get another one.
Yeah.
I can't just order it online because it's not gonna happen. Because I can't get to Canada. So if someone builds a E36 or something specifically set up nice, tilted nicely, they're like, there's no way I'm driving this on the road because I can't get this damaged on the way to a show. And then you go to a show and you lose now because you break in the fender on the way there or you cracked something.
Yeah.
It's like, I can see the point of, you should get an award because you didn't drive the car, but at the same time it's like, I spent so much time and money on this car, I'm not going to lose out on an award because I decided to drive the car down.
Yeah.
Especially in Toronto, it's a write-off. Even my car downtown,
I think
I whacked
actually
it so many times on the frame.
there was not Import Fest, but Import Expo I think was pretty good because you just drive the Gardner in the lakeshore all the way down, and then you make a left into the center, and that's it, right?
Yeah, some venues.
It's
like
not
that.
too bad.
Yeah.
But I do get your point because when we went to the Import Expo at the beginning of this year, we pulled into the venue early in the morning. Like literally, there was a 350 coming around the corner, and we got pulled over. Like literally right up to the venue. I'm probably because of a loud exhaust or whatever.
Yeah.
It wasn't stance, it wasn't low, it was just like loud exhaust probably, but it just goes, like I understand people don't want to take that risk. They're fed up with the cops, they don't want to deal with it. They don't want to, it would suck if you smash an oil pan or something, right?
Right, happened to one guy, you probably know him, he's been working on the car for a while, he's been away. Sinful TL, silver one, he's been working on it, he took it back, and now he's getting ready for crazy stance again. It's taking a couple of years to get it ready. So it's like, in that sense, I see the car's stupid low. My respect for the guy doing that.
Yeah.
We drove to the show, ended up getting to Import Fest, like right there, and bam, oil tank is whacked. And now the oil's leaking on the floor in the venue. You're like, that could have been avoided if you trailed the car. Or if, you're not going to raise the car because you want to have the award for best stance or best static stance as rolling the car down to the show, but then you run the high risk of something, pothole or piece of anything on the road. You don't even know.
You never know what could be lying down there.
Yeah, you got to avoid somebody, because I've seen a couple times the other night, I was riding with Brandon with the Marble M3.
Yeah.
Roll on the highway and it just, not miscommunication, just timing. They both indicated at the same time he had to swerve out the way.
Yeah.
It's like, at that point, imagine now all the money you put into your build and someone just whacks it.
Yeah.
On your way to a show when you drive the car 5 times a year. At that level. The stance guys, they drive the cars a lot more than people think, but they're not advertising it. There's only be because you don't want to get yanked or look at me. Like some guys do it. Obviously, the States, Florida, you do whatever you want.
I think it's just like whether they're going for more of the attention, the more the views, they're trying to just like.
It depends on what your motivation is, but in the sense of like, going from driving my you have air and static, for example.
Yeah.
That thing's nuts. But he's an OG in the game for that stance thing from the beginning of time. So when he trailers a car in, him being there is already a big deal.
That's the blue Civic, right?
Yeah, blue. It was red before. I knew it was red.
So funny story about that car. So my grandfather does drywall for a living.
Yeah.
And there was this one day where he's like, I need your help. I'm doing a house. I'm doing a full house. I need your help. Or a part of the room. I'm like, okay, no problem. So I go. I pull up. I was in my blue Legacy GT, the wagon that I have still. Pull up, and his car's sitting in the driveway. And I didn't know him at the time. And I'm like, fuck, Jesus Christ, right? What the hell is this thing, right? So I go and I do work with my grandfather, and I meet his dad. His dad comes in, we start talking. I'm like, whose car is that? He's like, well, that's my son's car. I'm like, what?
So yeah, they built together.
It's a pretty cool car. And he's like, we're talking about the build and how the suspension's like, it's like welded, right?
There's washers at the time, yeah.
I think
cheated up by now, but
he's not on coilovers.
No.
He's not on. He's a welded. He's solid suspension, right?
Yeah.
So the car doesn't move, right? Holy shit! Like I didn't know you could do that, right? So I was thinking, and I know he trailers his cars to all the events.
Yeah.
Now, it surprised me because knowing that his suspension is solid, why does he trailer it? Because he knows his car's not going to move.
it's still drivable.
No, it's drivable. I've seen it drive, but why doesn't he drive it to the events?
Because that car driving to events, the amount of damage that would happen on the
You
road.
think so?
If like Japan videos, you see those guys rolling the road.
Yeah.
The roads are mint. So let's
Mint.
say you're like I had my Volvo. I had a thing on the floor, but I can drive around on like Highway 7. You can roll as low as you want because the roads are perfect.
Yeah.
But for him to drive that car out of his area to go further, then now damage a fender, you're gonna damage your lip, you're doing the frame, you may get stuck. Even my CHL line of bags.
But that's why I'm like, how can you damage the fender if you're like a welded suspension? There's no wheel movement.
Oh, there's enough damage that can happen.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't think I seen this wild thing.
Wild as shit.
I seen the wildest thing. I seen
Fucking
cars
driving on the highway with a 2x4 and you're just.
I seen a tire fall off a car. Like it was in the middle of the road one day on the highway, and I'm just driving along on 401, and luckily I was not in that lane. I just seen it, and I seen in the middle of the road. Like someone's gonna whack that. Not lucky enough, but unfortunately enough, on the way back from where I was coming from, someone in a regular Honda Civic hit the tire. Someone weaved out of it. They didn't see it, nailed it. The whole front of the car is just destroyed. So it's like you never know what can happen, and that level of his setup is so like tight.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't drive that car.
I remember-
wouldn't drive it. I would trailer it for a show. But I seen him drive around before.
I remember he brought to Import Expo this year and he had it on like Steely's. I don't know why he can't have it on his rims when he trailer with it for some reason.
Oh, because it won't fit on the trailer. Or you can't strap it down. Most guys seen it. Even Justin with the 86.
Yeah.
He went to memorable things like going to the Kentucky show, and he trailered it on the stock wheels. It looks stupid on the trailer. But obviously, you put the wheels on, it can't fit on the trailer. So you put different wheels on, roll it off. We spent probably an hour getting take the fender off from the wheel on, getting it all set up to get ready for the show. And then we went to a pre-meet and he drove the car. It was hilarious to see it bounce off the ground a couple times, but he's committed to driving the car on the road. But he knows, like, for Aaron, for example, that car is so legendary. Like, at this level now, you can trail the car. He's been doing it since I've ever known him.
Yeah.
He's been slammed. That car's been slammed going around.
Yeah.
I see it driven. I'm like, you're nuts. But at the same time, you can't drive that car on the road. It's not gonna. There's no benefit driving on the road.
Yeah.
The only thing you get is damage.
I think
It looks dope as shit on a highway rolling.
No, it does.
Imagine, it looks amazing. But the cost for the damage, for the look, it's like, there's a certain point where you build the car so crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, you're good. You can stop here. It's amazing. Don't do nothing more. Change the color to blue.
Yeah.
Super dope. But it's like, you understand. Don't drive this car on the road because it will get damaged. Even though it's welded, you have a tires are still suspension.
I think
it will flex. Something will flex. Some will bend.
I think I love it regardless. I can see where people will have these thoughts where it's like, is it fair, is it not? At the end of the day, personally, I still enjoy the cars for what they are. But maybe what I have in my mind is, like, if I build something crazy unique, I want to be able to fucking drive that car for random people, the public, general public to see it.
As well, so.
Like I want people to realize, like, what the hell is that thing? Like, yeah, it's personal preference, right? So, like, again, maybe they're just people that have been in the game for so long they just don't care anymore, right?
Yeah.
And I personally haven't been in the game for as long as a lot of these guys have been. I'm still pretty fresh and growing a name for myself. But Like I want people, like if I build something crazy, wicked, unique, I want people to see it. That's why I take so much pride in driving my car everywhere, because people are like, oh, well, you have other cars to drive. Why do you drive that? And I'm like, because when I'm sitting on a highway, 95% of the time you'll never see another yellow car. It's all like white, black, gray, red, blue. That's it.
The basic colors.
Right? So when you see a yellow car in the middle of the highway, everyone's eyes gets drawn to it, and then they start looking at it. It's not just a yellow car; it's a done-up yellow car. Oh fuck! I've never seen that. What's that? It's a wide-bodied wagon. What is it? Oh, that's so cool. So like that's what I like. It's like the attraction, right? But I understand in some aspects, some people are like they've been doing it for too long. They put too much money into it. They've known better. They're just like I like
even
safe than sorry.
Me and my old Mark II Jetta, I had swapped. I went to like 4 oil pans because I wanted to be slammed.
Yeah.
But I knew the cost of being that low is oil pan. So I would actually have an oil pan in my house already ready to go. But then after a while, you're like, okay, I had enough of this. So I had a Volvo. I was like, immediate steel pan. I don't want the steel, not pan, steel, under trays, skid plate.
Skid plates.
I put a steel, stainless steel on the car immediately. I ordered that up. This is what I want because I know I want to slam it.
Yeah.
I want to be whacking. I think it was destroyed. It was like, it was very thick.
Oh, I bet.
But it was like scraped up. But like after a while, you're like, okay, I had enough spending money on parts or damaging stuff. So when guys, I mean the US guys too, you see a lot of these crazy big body cars get trailered in because it's like you're not going to order, a fender for Celsior that easy.
No.
You can't just order, like a FRS. Okay, they can give them tomorrow. They have no problem. These guys got to wait weeks or months for the one part for their car.
Oh yeah.
So like we're trailing it. So I can see people not really happy about guys trailing the cars and winning awards, but at the same time, they spend more money than you. Technically, they spend a lot more money.
They do.
And it's like, if I spend 10 grand on my setup and you spend 5,
I want to protect it.
It's your investment.
It's an investment.
Even though it's all cars are just bad investment.
Yeah.
But if I spend 50 grand on a build, I'm not going to drive it downtown Toronto.
Yeah.
There's no way of doing that. Obviously, if it's a stance car.
Of course.
But if it's a big power build like Evo, for example, with big tires on it, and it's street legal, of course drive it. But you don't run the risk of being pulled over. That's guaranteed for everyone.
That's guaranteed for everyone.
Exactly.
It's not even just like a maybe or an if for some people.
Yeah, at the same time, it's like if I spend 20, 30 grand on my stance build, doing full VIP interior, you get the whole paint, J3P, James, that thing's beautiful.
It is.
So when he says, "Oh, you trailered here?" and he kind of laughs. He's like, "Yeah." Cause I seen him get the car, get it repainted, get the setup done. I'm like, there's no way you have any business driving. I would not want you to drive. If I see that car on the road, I'd be like, I'm nervous. Cause I know if something that damaged the car, it's not gonna be happy. It's not gonna be good.
No.
Cause it's such a clean, simple build.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like that gets damaged. That car's going away for months.
For sure.
So you gotta know, like, if you have an FRS stanced out, and within reason, you can get parts for that pretty quick.
Yeah.
But you have some more regular LS big body or some imported. You can't get a panel for it. You're not gonna run around slam that thing on the ground. No. They usually clapped out. You see a car clapped, like, your guy drives it.
Yeah.
Like for my car, I get a little reckless with it, but I know with the reason, hey, stop here, because I need to work.
There's a line. There's going to be a line. And
I got to drive to work the next. It's my daily.
You cross it.
Yeah.
And it's just
but the show car, I understand the point of you probably shouldn't know what awards you do to the car here. It's like, but it comes right down to the bare down to it. They spend more money than you, and they want to save their money, or they want to blow the axle, crack a barrel. Some guys' wheels are like 4 or 5 grand.
But
10 grand wheels.
4 or 5 grand. 4 or 5 grand is a base wheel now.
Exactly. I'm saying, you imagine per wheel, you spend 3 grand per wheel. Yeah. Setup, you get the barrel right. Like, you did your math. Some guys do crazy math. Okay, just right. Now imagine you drive it out to a show and it gets whacked, or then you hit a pothole, you bend a barrel. Yeah. Now your car's down for 2 weeks or 2 months, for example, because I was back building wheels. Now you missed 3 more shows. Yeah. So it's better to spend the money, trailer the car to the show, drive around the parking lot. They do put it in the show, put it in a trailer, drive back home. Yeah. Because then if you break something, your car's down for 2 months, 3 months. I've seen guys that can't come to the show because I cracked a barrel. Be like, damn. And it's just a barrel crack, and then you're like, they're like, why didn't you show the show? Oh, I blew this, I broke this, I scraped this off. You're like, damn, should trailer the car. I probably should trailer. There's some guys that love the stance to drive it everywhere, and some guys that will have a super setup and not. I would not. Aaron is not supposed to drive down the road, but he knows. It's like, hey, if I drive it like this, something may break, and then then I got no car for shows, and then now you go to the shows for the awards, you got no car. That's even worse. Yeah. Having the little show, your car's not there, but your car's
there, and now you're kicking yourself, and you're like, fuck, I wish I was in this show. I wish I could have been here.
But a simple task of, I could drive it down. It's like, no, don't drive it, trailer it, because I know guys that have cars that don't need to be trailered, but they know they run the risk of damaging it because they put something together on it and it looks this way. They don't want to get a wheel whacked or whatever. Something simple. This trailer just have that peace of mind. People tell you trailer, it's like yes and no. They spend a lot of money.
I think it's a good view at it. I think it's
the different perspectives.
People don't want to hear that. People don't want to hear like, oh, well, the guy spent more money than you did. People don't want to hear that, but it's true.
It's exactly what it is.
But it's true. But then you also have to remember there's people with a lot of money out there that just don't have
the connection to do what we do sometimes, or they don't care enough to.
No. There's like a lot of people out there online that just don't make the nicest goods. They have more money than brains.
Yeah, so they build something a little wacky. And
wacky, and everyone's like, what the fuck is that?
Right. But it's their cars. So it's like we did it. They wanted to.
It's what they wanted at the end of the day,
so
right?
It's their cars to do what they want. So it's just everyone. I knew the same thing came up. Not the same subject exactly, the same question, but a couple years ago, the same kind of thing came up. It's like, oh, you did the trailer queen, whatever. It's like, but it all boils down to how much money did you spend?
Yeah.
Is how much you willing to protect. Because you're not going to run around with this fully done and run on the streets all day and night daily. You may do it, yeah, but if it's like, negative 20 camber, maybe you don't want to do that.
No.
Because obviously, besides, not even pull over, no cops issue.
Yeah, no cops.
Just the road, you get blindsided. Even my car, I got to go some places last minute. I'm like thinking, oh no, it's static now. I got to plan ahead. And I think driving on Finch the other day, I was like, this is terrible. This is a bad idea. But it's where I had to go. With my wife, I had to go somewhere specifically. And it's not gonna say, I'm not coming to this dinner. It's like, there's no excuse. You find yourself there. Mm-hmm. So when the car's going there, if I walk a speed bump, I know what I'm walking into. Yeah. So you got to run the risk of, if you set up your car this way,
I think, yeah, I think that's where I find myself, because I find myself when I'm on coilovers, I'm fairly low for what I am. I could go lower, just the wide body kit doesn't let me go lower. So, but from the distance on my tire to my wide body kit is about the thickness of my pinky finger, like maybe half the thickness of my pinky finger, and I rub. Like I rub definitely all the time. So for me, I gotta be careful as well, right? But a lot of people don't realize, and they get so very surprised, because not only my car is a show car, but my car, because I do run a booth at the events, and I do have my own thing, is all the equipment for the booth, the tent, the table, the products, the merch, goes into my wagon. Yeah. And it weighs down the back end of my wagon. And on top of that, I drive around with the merch to the shows, Yeah. I fixed my fiberglass wide body kit several times because of it, right? I run the risk, but I knowingly drive my car everywhere, and just because I enjoy my build. I built something to enjoy,
exactly.
And I don't care. Like for example, I lost my front lip a month ago coming home from CSCS. It hit a puddle of water, fucking ripped off my bumper, gone. It actually ripped my bumper off my car on the highway because it was so secured to the bumper. Yeah. It ripped it off.
That's a good and bad thing.
It's a good and bad thing. So, I got a new lip on there now. It's not my original lip. The remake is right there, sitting behind you. But since I got the new lip, I can't mount that one on because it literally ripped all the holes out and everything. So I won't be able to. I'd have to chassis mount it. And
the risk already.
That's a next year thing. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I know what happens, but at the end of the day, I kick myself in the ass every time it happens because I'm like, fuck, you knew. Why do I have to do this, right? And then it's just like when the car isn't giving me issues or falling apart, I truly enjoy it on the road, and I'm happy I get to drive it, and I'm happy other people can get to see it. And it's like I build it for this reason. I build it so I can enjoy it, and I get to show it off to people that will or will not enjoy it. It's up to their preference, right? But I would just personally, I would hate to build something and then just throw it in a box and drive it and then unload it. And it's just me though.
You get to I think because we're still young, you're younger than me.
I'm young.
So you get to a certain point where you're like, I spent so much money on this car part of my life. I don't want to drive it and someone hit it and it's all. I've seen some cars. One car I was planning to shoot in the States. Before I got down there, it was like a wide body Golf or something crazy. It was a very specific, it was very rare kind of kitty put together. It was really cool. It was like a different generation. And then 2 weeks later, got a car finished, got whacked on the highway totally. So it's like, he's like, I could have just trailed it where I was going, but you know, I was going somewhere with it.
Yeah.
But he's like, I could have, maybe I could have trailed it somewhere to a show and didn't have to put myself at that risk
Yeah.
of getting hit because you don't know what happens. Road people do stupidness.
But that's another thing too, because
You
like
can't.
the plan that I have with my car, like it's gonna be like a SEMA build, hopefully.
You drive that daily still?
And huh?
You drive that daily still? You're
I have
twice.
I have a.
You're
The good thing about my position is I have a couple of cars, so I don't have to daily it like I do it now in the summer. Definitely when you're taking your car to SEMA, you're trailering that. Especially like we're in Canada, SEMA's in Vegas. You ain't driving that shit.
You understand? I think the local shows.
But let's say I have my SEMA cards done. So far now with my car, I have about 24, 25 invested in it, in mods and cosmetics and all that shit. We're probably gonna double that just for the SEMA build. So we're probably gonna spend close to 45 just for the SEMA alone. Or probably more. I'm trying to limit
always more.
I'm trying to limit myself at 45.
SEMA bills have no limit.
They don't have no limit. Yeah.
Just gotta keep going until it's.
I try not to think. Well, being able to do a lot of the work yourself cuts the cost, which is nice. But if let's say there's an import fest or an import expo, we're driven.
Yeah, I would say drive it to those.
I think location, like I'm very well known with locations in the GTA. I know what roads are like in what parts. So if it's import expo and it's at the same place, the Enercare Center, or was that the Enercare Center?
Enercare is usually the same building, but different.
I'll drive it direct 'cause I know the roads there. Like if I take the Gardner and I take the Lakeshore and then it's quick left on. Yeah, the roads are fine.
Yeah, certain.
Import Fest is pretty good too. The only thing I'd have against Import Fest is the ramp to get into Import Fest.
I've heard, yeah. I never had seen it.
But it's pretty steep. But I'll be on air, so no need for me. No worries for me.
It's give and take with there. But I think when you start getting older and realize the amount of money you spend over the last 10 years on the build, like I have no business driving this.
I probably wouldn't. Like I just did the trip out to Caledon. I probably wouldn't drive the car to Caledon.
Yeah. See now, if you trailer the car to Caledon now.
I don't know.
Should you get rewards if you trail the car here?
No. But like, why would see now? Like,
now you're in a predicament now.
If I
no, you catch yourself here.
If I'm going to Caledon, it's got to be for a reason. It's got to be for a big ass show, and I'm going to win an award. It has to be. The only reason why I'm pushing CSCS so hard this year is because I know there's a lot of controversy around the event with people with the award ceremony for the show and shine. I've seen it, I understand, but I truly think that it's an amazing event. I think that as far as trackside, show side, in general events go, it's really good. Something that's
needed.
It's just needed and something that happens very frequent throughout the year. Awesome, because usually these shows only happen once a year.
You get 1 or 2, luckily.
This show happens 6 times a year at different tracks. So it's truly an amazing event to be at. And it does hold a prestige. CSCS does hold a prestige where it's like big people go to CSCS. Not even just for track, just show and shine. Like you get some nice cars at CSCS. Now, again, you'll get the good and the bad everywhere, in every aspect. Life's not perfect. Shit happens. It is what it is. People will sit there and argue that CSCS isn't like that good of a quality for show because of like sometimes some cars that show up or
give and take.
Awards given out, but that's at every show. At every show,
they showed up, so you can't get mad if you don't show up with your car.
And that's the point. The point is, if someone sees like, oh, I saw like some stock ass BRZ won a CSCS top 40 trophy, it's like that guy woke up early in the morning to go to that show while you sat home because you didn't want to drive your car 45 minutes to CSCS because and it's not like it's not drivable like Stance or whatever. Let's just say it's a nice car. Let's say it's an S15 and it's drivable. It's like track setup kind of looking, right? And there's no scraping issues, right? They just chose to drive and you didn't, right? You just they put in the extra effort, right?
If you want the awards, you gotta show up.
That's it, right?
No, for me, I realized a lot of people don't want for me, I never put my car in a show for an award. I won some out of just sheer luck.
Yeah.
Because the car was there, I feel it. I was
unique,
whatever.
Different, yeah.
Yeah, the Volvo was very different. I think with the Volvo, I think I got it. The Volvo was on bags, but because not the Volvo, sorry, the CHR was on bags. But my luck, there was only 2 Toyota, two Toyota that was there that were SUV, not BRZ class. Yeah. So out of default, I won because I just had bags. The other guy had different stuff on his car. Yeah. But I just won because I just had bags and that was it. Yeah. So it was I showed up, without the intention to win, but if you show up enough times, I think CC does tally, right? Tally them all up.
So They did in the past, and that's why this year. That's another reason why I'm pushing it so much was because I think for the last 4 years it's just been like a top 40 trophy at every event. That's it. But previously they used to do a championship for the show and shine where it's like you have to win 4 or 3 or more shows out of the 6 or out of the 5. And then at the end of the year, you're considered like you get a championship for show and shine, which means like you've put in the effort, you've gone to a lot of the most of the shows, or if not all the shows. You know, you've dominated, you've won the shows, right? And so that gives it an incentive for people to keep on showing up, which is good. So they haven't done that for the last 4 years, I think, and they just brought it back this year. So last year was my first time going to CSCS, and I only went for the last 2 rounds. And I was luckily able to get trophies at both of the last 2 rounds because my car was fresh last year, like the fresh build. This year they announced that they were doing the championship again, like how you have to win a minimum of 4 or 3 times out of the 5 or 6 times that they have the event, and then you're considered a champion, right? For the show and shine. So I was like, yeah, that intrigues me more. Like it puts a little bit more pressure into being there. So that's why I've been pushing it a lot more. And I think it's a great opportunity, not only for myself, but for a lot of people that are in the show and shine to do that. And funny enough is that we've actually gone through 4 out of the 5 rounds now. So Caledon that we just happened this weekend was the 4th round out of 5. The last and final round is going to be on September 25th at Cayuga. And I think, fingers crossed, I'm pretty confident on the statement so far that I'm the only anyone has 4 trophies as of right now besides me. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, to get a 5th one, the final one. If I do, I think I'll be the only one with all 5 this year, which will be an amazing feeling. People can say all day long that, oh, my car could have done that, and it probably could have. But again, if you put the effort into doing it and going to that, then it shows.
Also, sorry to interrupt, but we're gonna have to wrap this up.
Yeah. Okay. No worries. We're pretty much done anyways. But yeah. So
he's flexing his trophies.
I just flexing my trophies. Yeah. But I think it's gonna be hard. I'm not counting my chickens yet because it's the finale. So and we all know when the CSCS finale comes out that
some guys there's more bigger crowd.
I think last year. Believe it or not, last year at the season finale, there was, I think, close to 600 registered show and shine cars, and I was still able to get a top 40. So that shit was crazy. And a big key is make sure your car's parked on the pavement and not on the grass.
I put my car in.
Because the judges, okay, think about it. If there's like a specific 150 parking lot spot for show and shine, and then they have too much, and then all this is grass. The judges are going to be focusing on this area. Sure, they might go to a couple on the grass, but it's a big.
So far to walk.
It's a big ass venue, and the only thing indicating that you're registered in the show is like a little sticker on your windshield, and they're not gonna go through all 600 cars on the grass. You know what I mean? Let's just be realistic here. They should, but they're human. They're human. You can't. There's human error everywhere. You know what I mean? So if you want to make sure you have a proper chance of getting judged properly. Make sure you show up early, like a normal human being. If you want the trophy, and go on the pavement. It's very simple. You know what I mean? So
it's about showing up, and it's pretty much show up. If you don't show up, you're not gonna get nothing.
Yeah.
But I've seen cars that should be winning awards. They don't bring it because they don't build cars for the awards. I didn't build my Volvo for an award.
And there's a lot of people that I respect because of that, right? They don't build their show-winning cars for shows or for the award. They build it because they want to build it for how they want to see it, and they build it so well for themselves that other people can enjoy it and appreciate it, right? And ask, why?
I build my car for awards. I wanted something different and odd, so I build weird cars because I like it. Personal car. I go to a show. I won an award at Gordon Classic a couple years back with a Volvo because I put on every bolt on possible.
Yeah, you were telling me. Yeah.
I went everything possible, and I did the little kit, something a little different. I think I won 2nd place, but at the same time, it's I didn't build it for the award. I was kind of excited. Can I get an award, maybe?
Maybe.
I wasn't looking like I needed an award. Just if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I go. I don't. But at the same time, I went for the experience more than anything else, which I like. If I travel off a lot of shows, it's for the experience. I bring my car to U.S. shows. I entered, not because I want to win an award. It's look, I did something different that you guys don't have here. At the time, they didn't have CHR's baggage. So I was I want to bring it to show you guys, look, we're Canada.
What we can do.
What I can do is simple, but This is what I can do.
I think there's a lot of people
I know.
online where like if you could build your car for the way you want to see it and still win awards, so it's a greater feeling than building a car that other people will like and that you don't like and winning
I
awards.
see a lot of people build cars for shows.
Like, if someone's gonna be like, "Yo, paint your car neon green," because you'll definitely get a trophy that way. You get trophies all day long if that's your color. But like, I don't want neon green. Like, that's not what I want. I want to build the car the way I want.
Do you want trophies or do you want the car you want? It's what drives you at the event. If you want to win trophies, build a trophy car. Go spend the money to build a trophy car. But if you want to build a car for yourself, just build it for yourself. Bring it to meets.
I think you can still build a car for yourself but still win trophies. I think
that's
it's
the best.
And that's the highest tier. It's like if you can have a trophy car, but you can literally build that trophy car for everything you wanted, and then at that point you win both ends of the battle, and I don't think anybody can touch you at that point.
So if you're just building a car just to win trophies, then you're in the wrong business here. Go to SEMA.
Yeah.
You want to advertise your build because
You want to
show it off.
Yeah.
Go to SEMA. If you want to win, if you want to build a car for yourself, go to shows. You may not win an award, but people see the car, they'll come talk to you, say, "This is really dope. I have an idea to do this."
Mm-hmm.
You immediately how crispy inspires your build a little bit with different ideas. Because obviously, if you want to bring it to win trophies, build a trophy car. Throw 50 grand at a car, you'll win.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. You throw 60, 100 grand at a car, you win trophies left, right, and
All
center.
day long. Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, how much money are you gonna spend to win a trophy?
Yeah.
It's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
We just got some people thing on a shelf.
Yeah.
They say, look, I built a car.
I know people would
Trophy
like.
should not give you the comfort, the fulfillment of you building a car. You building a car should be enough.
Yeah.
The trophy should come second, not trophy
It
first.
shouldn't even just be the trophy, like the material, like the actual physical form of the trophy. It should just be the acknowledgement that someone acknowledges the fact that your car is
Put the time, money in.
is valued to be a good, like a high class car, right?
No, when cars built for trophies, look what I did. Actually, it was like, no. You can't just cheat the system by throwing money. You know, at the whole end of the day, it's money.
Money, yeah.
Who has more money wins the awards. Who has the most unique idea. You gotta be really super unique to win.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just money. And you'll just throw 50 grand at it.
Hey man, that's fair.
This is money. It's not about, you can build something cool, but if you don't put enough money into it, no one's gonna recognize it.
Money is what makes the world go around, unfortunately. So
It boils down to.
that's what it comes
So
down.
whoever's complaining about the trailer cars to shows.
There was a couple people. And you know what? They convinced.
See me if they
They
want.
convinced.
Hey,
They convinced me a little bit too. I'm like,
you got a little convinced
the
them.
fuckers trying their car.
Couldn't convert you. It's coming.
Trying to convert me. They're trying to get me. No, I was like, I thought about it hard. I was like, damn. Like they have a point. Like
There's a point.
There's a point. But like it's like
It's very thin.
it's very thin. It's a third.
I can say to anybody up here, I would say come to a U.S. show.
Yeah.
Like not Florida, a Tuner Evil show,
Mm-hmm.
a Slammed Enough show. Then you'd be floored. You're like, oh, I have like nothing. Like your cars are.
You're irrelevant.
You're irrelevant. You bring a car there, you're like, oh, that's a parking lot car.
Yeah.
That's in spectators.
Yeah.
Not even in the show outside
No.
car. I've seen cars outside the venue at Slammed Enough. I'm like, these are nuts.
Yeah.
And then the parking lot has some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And they're just spectators.
Yeah.
So from here, it's like, oh.
And I think that's a good point too. Before we end the clip, was that there's a lot of people that are up here that think they got wicked builds. That like
No offense to you.
No offense to me, 'cause I don't. I mean, like I said, like
I'm telling you guys.
like I was able. It was a miracle that this year I was able to walk away with a trophy at Import Fest, which was a good feeling. Thank God. I didn't expect that at all. I didn't even think I was at that level to be an award-winning car at Import Fest. But we were able to do it, and I appreciate it a lot. But there's people that show up to Import Fest. They have cool cars. They don't win trophies, but they have like this huge thing where it's like, like my car's fucking amazing, my car's wicked, it's a whatever, and they need to be humbled, and I think that's the perfect ways to go to the States, because I can guarantee you this, like, I'm taking Import Fest as an example because Import Fest is one of the biggest shows here in Ontario for modified cars. So I'm saying like 80% or 75% of the cars at Import Fest will get humbled to the max if they get taken down.
I say almost even like most of the shows I've been. I've even been to a Static Struggle show. It was a smaller show.
Where is that, in the States?
It was in PA.
PA.
So I went down. I told the guy I'm coming down. Like, coming down for our show. It's not a big show. It's a big enough show, but it's the quality cars they have in. And I'm even doing rolling. I'm looking at some of the stuff. I'm like, this is a average regular show.
Yeah.
And the cars are nuts.
Yeah.
So when I go to Tuner Evo, you're just like,
yeah.
You're looking at these things that are pristine builds.
I think there's not a lot of people that here they don't
understand. So you go there, you're like, your car is like in the parking lot. That's where you put your water, hang out with your buddies. And
Yeah.
stuff. Your car is nothing at all.
I think there's a lot of people that need to be humbled because there's a lot of people that are up here thinking that they got the coolest of the cool shit. And I can tell you right now,
No.
I
The white body does not cut it.
I am very far down this ladder. I'm telling you right, the fact that I was considered an award-winning car at Import Fest, which can be, you know, everyone's got their opinion, whatever it is.
It's like, what? How?
How's that even fucking? That car's not even cool.
I seen it. I'm like, how in the world? Like, this guy used to go to the States. This guy.
I thought I was top shit for about 4 hours after that show with this big fucking award, being like, yeah, fuck you, fuckers.
Go to the States and be like,
Go to the States. I'll be kicked on my ass, and I'm like, I won't be the only one because the difference with me is like I know my place. I know that's why I got invited to go to the Battle of the Borders this year, the last weekend. I didn't go because I don't want my car across the border. I am not going across the border until my car has seen SEMA. That's the first time it'll go
That
across.
show's smaller, but some cars there will humble you. Like that's a light humbling.
It's a light humbling.
You go to the PA, you start going down further south, Tennessee.
Yeah, you get your
Florida.
ass fucking whooped.
Don't even bring your car.
No.
Take the bus.
Yeah, take the bus. Save money.
Rent a car.
Yeah, just that's it, man. But that's it for today. As unfortunately comes to a sad ending for our first episode, we also say a goodbye to our beautiful friend Spoke here because he will be traveling to new ventures, and we wish him the best and the safest of travels. So thank you for coming on. Thank you for being the very first person to hopefully what becomes some crazy ass shit.
I'll come back, don't worry.
Because
come back and do another one.
2 years, like the same thing from when I was standing with a table 2 years ago on stickers, and then now we're up here.
Keep showing up.
So 2 years.
Same thing. Keep showing up till eventually work out.
2 years from now, we'll do another one.
Exactly.
So thank you very much. Thank you for spending the time in your busy life, because I know right now you're kind of madness, which is fine. But thank you very much, guys. If you can subscribe and like the video and the channel. This will be posted on YouTube, also probably on Instagram, everywhere and everywhere. Thank you again to our sponsors, which is the Detail Shop Mississauga, Kayusha, the team, The Front. Follow on Instagram for all your automotive cosmetic needs. If you want a cool show car, Rap 88, North Vision for our personal videographer and photographer, 4K angles for our photography, Level Up Graphics Designs, SIF's Performance Garage for all your BMW performance needs, and North Aero for all your aero and custom needs as well. So thank you guys. We'll be back. We don't know who our next guest is going to be. It's always a surprise. We always like bringing in big names and people that other people can trust, and you know their opinions matter, and we like to share them and show people what we think about hot topics and takes.